One time.
Ajay is now very active. He must be knowing enough.
IIT Jabalpur.
IIT Jabalpur, he served in Patna.
तीन लोगों से मिल रहा है सबके साथ चलो किधर निकलेगा ये
Hello.
Then you automatically get back.
Obviously, somewhere. At the beginning, yes. I saw it until you were in Noida.
And I read your chapter on CEO and something.
Yes. There is 24.
That's why when I send, I always numerology is the next step. Doesn't go?
Yes. I still have notes. मेरे बैग में.
But don't assign me anything. Thank you. But actually, I was not worried, but there was some leadership changes and I was not particular to decide. Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Come here.
Thank you.
Thank you. Can you,
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. We should do, she's won an award. We should do, we did it. Yes. Welcome you home.
Thank you.
और आपको फोटो चाहिए 1 मिनट अच्छे से लेते हैं.
Thank you.
And we should do we did it wala, right? Yeah, we did it. Thank you. Hi.
Hello.
Hi. Excitement, man.
मैं अपना वो भी लेके आऊँगा, वो भी दे दो.
Here we go. Thank you.
Thank you.
Awesome.
Thank
One
you.
more. Thank you.
Thank you. Welcome home.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Camera. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
How are you?
So good to see you. Come, पहले photograph ले लेते हैं. Welcome. Fantastic after seeing you.
In the camera with this great smile continuing in my camera, and here we go. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Inside in a white t-shirt, so you have to stand in an angle. Wait a minute. Right? Best foot forward.
The camera, and here we go. Done. Thank you.
Thank you. Hello.
See your excitement and
Yes.
yes. Thank you.
Thank you. First, हो गया पूरा.
जान के रखा है.
This is home. The split में यहाँ पे दे देना on the low end.
Please alphabetical करने में मुझे सबसे अच्छा.
This is S.
Time back. When we used to have sessions, education sessions.
Smaller.
Shiv is there.
Okay. Hi. What's going on? Well, it's Fred. I started early. Yeah. Well, how early? 5. I can't watch you
How are all right, so we begin. Thank you so much. Today we are special. Thank you. 11 years of creating impact, and most importantly, 11 years of belonging. So whether you are a founding member, a volunteer, a partner, or just a guest joining us today for the first time, so each one of us here. So, everyone has a vision. Every thriving community has leadership that nurtures connection and possibility. To formally welcome us and set the tone for today's celebrations, it is my pleasure to invite our chapter president, Ms. Debeshi Chakraborty. Over the past year, under her leadership, continued its commitment to excellence and service. Please join me in welcoming Debeshi.
Right. So how many of you were there last year? Same hall, same time. Can I see some hands? So I would start by knowing how many of you traveled from a different city today. Can you stand up? Hindu travels from Hyderabad. Wow. You all have towards your career, your profession, and towards this space. So while I thought, what is that we should share, because Shiv, we won this award. The award was declared somewhere around March. Chapter Recognition Award. And after that, you won an award. And what is the secret recipe? So we met Magda day before yesterday, and I was thinking, yeah, we did something, but we never looked back to understand what did we do. So today I'm going to share the secret of what our speech. So if you look at this image in band 15, we were formulating a community. This is our founding president, Mr. J.P. Singh. And 225, you see, this is the image of our flagship event, Coach Fest Raga. Is that how did we stay relevant? So many things change, and how did we thrive? Because there's so many things happened. COVID happened, AI is happening. So what did we do? Today I'm just going to share those learnings, which is the real story behind what you see being captured in an award. Okay? So 3 shifts and 3 learnings. And let me tell you, this is Shiv's style. This style of presentation is very much like Shiv. 3 timekeeping, but she'll always say my presentation will be 7.7 minutes and it will be done. So I'll try my best. So the first shift was digital. Coaching after 2015, around that time till now, we knew it was digital, and we went through the pandemic. In 1999, some of the facts which I got is the International Coaching Federation had over 2,000 members globally, and in 2025 it is 60,000 plus. That's 36x growth in 25 years. And interestingly, half of it happened after COVID, 2022. How many of you joined the profession after 2020? Yeah, most of us did. Now, so if that was the shift, when we started looking into what does it mean for us, it was not the same, right? Engaged online. The question was kind of no longer how to use the digital. What does a community mean when geography? What else? What next? So what we did to have a chapter. It is just a professional body. It is just defined by geography. This is not what it means. It means that how can we belong to something which is beyond us. So we started experimenting how to create belonging. Clubs formed in the main chapter, and we also thrived digitally across LinkedIn and with many rooms, different conversations, different interests, different initiatives, different communities, yet one shared purpose. But interestingly, like a traditional home, it had no address. The address was our heart. So you already saw people from different parts of the city who have traveled for volunteering and coming and joining here today. So what connected us was a shared purpose, and we became a chapter which is beyond postcode. And what connected us is this tagline that we say: we are creating a home for coaches and coaching enthusiasts. We welcome everyone not with their achievement but with their trouble that they have to share, whatever that people won't understand in that outside world. So that was the first learning. The second shift. The second shift was about the positioning of coaching. Now, according to the ICF Global Study, 30% have a dedicated budget for coaching, which moved from 25% in 2019. So initially when ICF was formulated, this was mainly for individual intervention, 1:1 coaching, life coaching. But organization increasingly started investing in leadership coaching, executive coaching, internal coaching, manager as a coach capabilities. So coaching became a strategic business capability, and the conversation had to move beyond coaches. Coaches talking amongst coaches, what is the benefit of coaching, which was of no use. It had to go to the real business world, to HR professional, talent leaders. And this is the time we thought about very interesting experiments that we did. It was Raga, Ripples of Awareness, Growth and Aspiration. It was a new project, new fest, and Magda and our board was in conversation when the idea was formulated. So why we formulated it is it was kind of an open house where we could have the coaching enthusiasts, people who are curious about coaching, who have heard the word but don't know what it is, to experience, to feel, to take the first step that day. Raga 1 in 2025 became a big hit. We had 2,000 participants, more than 100 coaching enthusiasts. Many of you are part of the group guest of Raga, right? You were, right? Yes. So many of us joined that group and became our guests. And slowly, many of you have become coaches and become our mentors. Had Raga returns, and some people say that it's like Bahubali returns, because this one expectation was high. This time we had 40% of the participants, of 2,075 participants, not coaches. All the speakers, 90%, 80% of them were seated in some way or other. And 3 days before the event, we were sold out. First time ever. Now, so this meant that, the conversation moved beyond us talking about coaching, then we talking to industry asking us question about the coaching. So the narrative, the positioning changed. And with the new narrative, like for coaching enthusiasts, we stressed on that word. We started conversations. We had different outreach projects. Aditya has just entered 5 days, 50 corporates. We reached out to different corporates. Many initiatives. We have gone and spoken at People Matters, at Shram, in many industry events. We have been invited. Our voices, the conversation has started. And in Bangalore, this month only, right? 5 of the members have been acknowledged and we have won the award for making just not coaches. Some of you are practicing as as consultants, as trainers, as learners, as wing builders, and all of you, many of you, it is a second stint, okay? And when we look at years of experience, when a new coach joins, the journey remains solo and the navigation can become heavy. So we understood that, and if none of you have seen the report, you can scan this code and everybody can go through this ICF coaching study report, which will give you a detailed idea about how the coaching industry is going. So from navigating alone, we thought, let's go together, let's move together. And we started to make, as a chapter we can't actually promise business, there are limitations which are there. We're creating ecosystems. We had different circles, different cells. Again, my colleagues are going to share about them. And what connected with all of them was a simple belief that nobody has to go through this future alone. We are facing AI. So one of the initiatives we just launched, Manish and Vivek are here, and it is not just we are doing it in India. We also got that across globe. Like ICW, we had Seema, Kenneth, we were all a part of it. 15 countries, 15 chapters, 9 countries having the same question, same issue in navigation. So we thought, right, we want to go far. So let's not navigate alone, do it together, and we created those cells. And that is how we are thriving, and that is how we plan to be future ready. So in a nutshell, we had that, people wanted that blended experience, not physical, not what does it mean to be a part of the chapter right now. So we went beyond a postcode. We created a home. Coaching, the positioning, there was this ask from the industry for the positioning to change, and we shifted it. We are there in the world having conversations of coaches and coaching enthusiasts, and the future we don't know. So we are not here to go alone. We are brave coaches, and like Sindwad, we are going to sail together. Welcome, Magda. So it's my Robert Garcia, our Vice Chair, our friends from Talent of Work, and I can see Vijay Lakshmi, a part of our ICF Global Chair. Sorry, I'm so engrossed in sharing the story of welcome home, Magda. So, in the past 11 years, essentially, with the shifts I was talking, solo journey, my practice, me as a coach, to we. Okay? And in this shift, we extended ourselves, we stretched ourselves beyond ourselves. And this has created so many awards that you could see, so many. Right, so this was 2015 and the next one 2025. So when I look into this photograph, what I could see is a relay race. The baton being passed, but there's so many things that we have created, but picture abhi baki hai. Ye dil mange more! So on that note, I extend extend my warm welcome to all my distinguished guests, Shiv, Magda, Robert, Vijay, and Talent of Work. And I am going to invite Seema for the next part of the session, and I think I took more time, Shiv. Well, thank you so much.
Vijay, Deepthi, and Gail, thank you very much for joining us. And thank you, Debeshi. Your words remind us that coaches and our chapter do not become successful by chance. People choose to contribute, collaborate, and care. And that spirit of contribution is woven throughout today's celebrations. Our world is changing at an unprecedented pace. Organizations are evolving, technology is reshaping how we work, leaders are being called upon to navigate increasing complexity while staying deeply human. For the future of leadership, to introduce this special fireside conversation with a lot of fire and our distinguished speakers, I invite our Vice President, Mr. Kaushik Chatterjee, to the stage to take this segment forward. Over to you, Kaushik.
As distinguished as one can be. So here, Debeshi has nicely, in her 7 minutes, 22 seconds speech, summed up the 3 shifts. And we entered D11. D11 has significance because there is World Cup football happening and the team has 11 players. Sometimes they show red cards, but we are good people. We always play with D11. And we also know our future is extremely bright because next year we're going to be the 12. So that much of certainty is absolutely there. So taking the opportunity to be igniting the fire, Delhi is like 38 degrees centigrade, so we went green. We did not go to the fire part of it. Formally, Shiv, I'm reading out your intro, and you may chip in E and OE, errors and omissions are accepted. So it's my privilege to introduce Mr. Sivakumar, one of India's most respected business leaders, board advisors, and leadership thinkers, no doubt about it. Shiv brings over 3 decades, only 3 decades of senior leadership experience across some of the world's most admired organizations, including Hindustan Unilever, Philips, Nokia, Pepsico, and the Aditya Birla Group, across consumer goods, telecom, healthcare, and diversified businesses. He has led growth, built powerful brands, and navigated complex market transformations across the Strait of Hormuz. Today, he serves as a board advisor to several organizations and the Southeast Asian nations. Mark the word grant, we would love to get some more. And Mark in Southeast Asia has had publications during Forbes and HBRs. As the leadership enters a world shaped by uncertainty, technology, so this fireside chat is definitely going to be an interesting one. We decided to go without a moderator, but a volunteer.
Role model in corporate leadership, and one role model in global coaching. So without much ado, I think let's get on with the, set some fire to the conversation. So Shiv, I'm going to start with you. So Shiv, you've been part of iconic organizations as a corporate leader, and now you're the sort of the board member. And the world is today, subsumed with geopolitical tension. So in this context, what do you see as the biggest leadership challenge that leaders are grappling with today? And what specifically is one challenge you think they're least prepared for?
Yeah, thank you very much, Krishnan, for that. Lovely to see you, Magda. I remember doing a Zoom session during COVID. So when I look at the future, and I was thinking about it as Kaushik was presenting, Debeshi was presenting, and Seema was presenting, I see the following elements which are fundamentally changing from a leadership point of view. First, everything is time compressed. What we could do in 5 years in the past, now you need to do within a year. Hold attention is one of the biggest challenges for leaders. Okay, number one. Number two, we live in a digital world. Okay, so we live in I think Debeshi said that we're not a postcode, there are no boundaries. Boundaries are mere lines on a digital map. So, for example, a resume is a dead thing today. All of you are HR professionals, you know this. A resume of the past is a dead item today. What's more important is your digital presence and what you do around it. That is your resume today, it's not the physical resume anymore. Okay, that's something that you need to think about. I think the world is much more short-term in nature. Everything is short-term. Now, that means for leaders as well as companies, everybody wants their next promotion within the next 18 months. Everybody is short-term. So when everything is short-term, how does a leader develop a long-term mentality in the organization? Because the pressure on results is so high that everybody wants to do things as of yesterday morning. And finally, one thing which I think has fundamentally changed. In the past, brands competed with brands, companies competed with companies. Today, ecosystems compete with each other. So if you don't partner in the ecosystem, you have no chance of success. You have no chance of success. Your brand doesn't matter, your company doesn't matter. And a lot of the FMCG companies in India are realizing that as quick commerce, e-commerce, etc. have come in. They refuse
Said, and maybe adding some global perspective to it. Where do you see coaching making the biggest difference in preparing leaders for this chaotic future?
Just the ability to deal with it, ability to recognize that these are all the pressures that the modern leader is experiencing is the first big step. Awareness and not acceptance that it is our modern world. Many leaders may feel very overwhelmed. Some will be in denial because they don't like those shifts. This is not how they were prepared for the positions they're holding right now. And especially for somebody who's been very successful for a long period of time, that shift can be frankly scary. So I think that this is where the coaching comes to play. It is to make sure that the leaders understand the new world a little bit better, so they, instead of being fearful of it, they start mapping the road to become this modern leader. And we, very true to what Shiv said, that several years back we started talking about empathy, about agility, about being inclusive as a leader. People would look at you funny. And now this is exactly what's expected of a leader, which is almost counterintuitive to the pressures of today, that the short-term reward kind of thing. Oftentimes you can't get the reward in short term. We know it in coaching. The impact of coaching is not always instantaneous, right? It takes time. So I think that coaching now needs to put a little calm to the system. Systems are very, very vulnerable. So I think coaching has an amazing chance of bringing a little bit calm and clarity. So instead of just stormy skies, you can see that there is light.
And how do you get a long-term perspective on it? And you said coaching helps you first recognize that we're living in a different world, helps you get that calm and perspective, so that you can, at least you're in a space where you can start thinking about it. Thank you, wonderful. So, Shiv, reflecting back to you again. Leaders who thrive among this uncertainty compared to those who just manage to survive and make it through.
Yeah. The first is, as you have more technology, I mentioned that time compresses with technology. As you get more technology, as time compresses, you get more uncertainty. So when you get more uncertainty, suddenly you realize that very few people are able to see with clarity what comes at you. Okay, that's one of the biggest challenges for leaders, to say what lies ahead. Number one. Okay. Second, when the future is cloudy, then the old rules of the past don't apply. So your ability to shed the old rules of the past, but keep the principles. The principles of, let's say, double entry bookkeeping have not changed ever since it was introduced in Italy in 1400 or whenever it is. The principles haven't changed. Many people have got creative and gone to jail. It's a different matter. So the principles haven't changed. So you have to keep in mind the principles, okay, of what worked in the past, and can I reshape it for the future. So leaders have to be extremely inspiring in tomorrow's uncertainty. Okay, and here's the point about inspiration. In the past, we hired people for hard skills and we trained them for soft skills. All of you are coaches. Okay, so your job came there. Currently, we are hiring for soft skills and training for hard skills. Why? Because the technology cycle is changing so quickly. From ChatGPT, which was released in November 22, to Claude, to Mythos today, in 3 years' time, you had a tectonic shift in technology. So today you hire for soft skills. So my submission to you from all the work that I've done, even with SHR, is that you need, I think, to coach people in school, in college, and first times. That's where it is more important today. They don't know. Coaching is not an elitist thing for middle management and senior management anymore. It is not a badge of honor. Coaching is a must-have thing. You need to coach younger people so that they know how to tackle it. That's all.
Today you hire for soft skills and train for hard skills. And coaching is not a privilege, I think everybody needs it. So now that Shiv has touched on technology, we keep hearing AI amplifies intelligence. So if AI amplifies intelligence, then what unique human capabilities will coaching need to cultivate?
AI coaching AI in coaching and all these things. But this is exactly, I like how you framed the question, because there are certain uniquely human capabilities and qualities that the coach can bring to the conversation, technology notwithstanding. And one of it is creating safe space. It is a psychological safety. It is building trust. It is being attuned to the human. AI will agree with you. AI will probably not go deep with you into what is the core of your question, what is the core of the issue you want to discuss. AI more often than not would just take your first suggestion. But I think especially I know, and you all know that right now AI can read the facial expressions and all this good stuff. I'm quite fascinated by it. And it may very well misread. Some people, when they are really nervous, they smile. A human person will notice that this is a nervous smile. AI does not, at least not at the moment. So what is innately human is a connection. You don't build a connection with technology, coaching connection, if you will, and with the human you do, and that's the core of coaching anyway.
So AI catalyzed coaching may be more transactional, and human coaching may be more connection.
Yeah, actually, I'll quote Dr. Marsha Reynolds. Many of you know Marsha. Who doesn't? And Marsha fairly recently said something which is a little bit maybe too general, if you will, but it helps. She did say that AI supported coaching is transactional, human, and that transformation happens only when there is that real connection.
So just a question to both of you, like if what does in today's what is leadership wisdom in this context?
Data-driven decision making, and to what Shiv said, this shift from hiring for hard skills and data without the context could be very, very misleading and actually leading to wrong decisions. Wrong being maybe a strong word, but decisions that are not in the best interest of an individual or the organization. So I think that the modern leader has to be very systemically oriented, if you will. You may be a manager of certain division, but you have to know what the rest of the organization is doing. The teams are so diverse right now. We have multi-generations, multi-cultures, different beliefs, different even value sets, and a leader has to be able to learn enough about the composition of a team, because anymore we also are moving away from individualistic to community, right? Decision making. So the leader has to be able to capture the essence of who people are on their team and really get them to produce the best, because like diversity in the team is brilliant. And again, one does not have to be afraid of that, but rather capitalize, even if it starts with a little bit of a friction. We were talking a lot about multi-generational workforce, and I think it was, maybe it was Sherm, that reported that 6 out of 10 organizations report frictions because of multi-generation workforce. Now, 9 out of 10 of those people say that they like it. They like it because they learn from one another. They like it because they see that together they come with better solutions. Again, old rules, they don't apply, but old wisdom does. So I think that the leader, which is not an easy proposition, and we have leaders who are younger in age, but ability to recognize the special talent and the superpowers that people have and put them together in a best combination for the best outcome. That's a tall order, but that's what the modern leaders have to do.
What have we seen as wisdom all our life? We've seen wisdom all our life as a sum total or a combination of the learning and the experience of the person who is giving the wisdom. So when I started my career, early days in Hindustan Lever, we'd go to a senior manager who would say, I've seen this movie 10 years ago, and I can tell you how it will play out. Yeah. Okay, so that was wisdom for us. And to get the person's time and get the download, itself was wisdom. Okay. Now, that capsule, condensed capsule or pill is no longer applicable. Okay. Today, as you rightly mentioned, we have too many algorithms, we have too much data. My submission to all of you is, no company uses more than 5% of the data it has, believe it or not. No company. Less than 5% of the data they use. A lot of the other stuff, the 95% of the data just sits there. Okay. So what's absolutely crucial for leadership in a future world is insights and not data. You have to drill into insights, the why, the how, what's happening, etc. I think that's what is going to be, absolutely crucial. If a leader is not insightful, then I don't think your ability to simplify the complexity. To tell people there are 10 things out there, but let's condense this. This is what I think we need to do, just 2 things, 1 thing, etc. So simplification of the complexity is the second thing.
Digital case, 10 years from now, how will this coaching ecosystem start looking like?
Not just because it creates scale. It makes sense. It makes great sense to have a group of people, team, working on the same issue. When we're talking about C-suite, yes, probably more of an individual coaching will be there. I also think that what we're going to see more is leaders teaching skills, and therefore bringing that attitude of a person who's got some difficulty in their life will probably not be the most productive employee. So it's like, okay, let tough job because we cannot sort of have to be a half a step at least ahead of our client to help them navigate some of the changes. There is such a big talk about AI. Many of our clients are slightly concerned, afraid, scared of AI, and in order to help them through that anxiety, one needs to know a little bit more about it, right? Otherwise, it may be very difficult to make that behavioral change that Shiv was talking about. So there are certain aspects, the other one is mental well-being. That's another something that not only doctors but coaches should be able to know enough to be able to either challenge their client or to maybe even support them in some changes that they need to make. But when we were talking about organizational coaching, team coaching, this is something, and this is my personal opinion rather than position of ICF, and it is that changing the world one person at a time will take a long time. However, when we have an opportunity to influence systems, that's a different story. I loved what Shiv said about bringing coaching earlier to people in schools, at universities, bringing coaching to healthcare, bringing coaching to systemic application. Yes, it still may be one person at a time, but it's a direction that we can take. Climate is another thing. ICF is a member of the coalition. It's called Sustainability Coaching Coalition. There are 11 or 12 coaching, mentoring, and supervisory organizations from around the globe that sign up to it. And what the coalition does is help a coach understand the cycle. If you think about Peter Hawkins's cycle, and then how to bring that to their own awareness and then to the awareness of their clients. Very important, because for the longest time, puristically, right, it's like it's client's agenda and it's client's agenda. What if a client is not aware? Isn't that the job of a coach to bring it to their awareness? And if they don't want to talk about it, fine, client's agenda. But we should not remain neutral in a conversation until the client tells us that they want to have this conversation. But again, to me, systemic application of coaching, and we can define those systems differently. That's what's gonna show the impact of coaching in a much more pronounced way, and therefore, that's gonna get us a headline, and a headline get attention, and then I think everybody will say exactly, I need a coach. I need a coach.
I think very interesting point you said that don't be blinded by the client agenda. It's all about the client. If the client is unable to even find what they're really looking for. Wonderful. Shiv, back to you. In your book, there are two things which stood out. Very, very profound statements you made. You said, don't get into accreditation for the sake of it. First, check whether you have an aptitude for coaching. Secondly, you also said, see if your client is coachable. And don't go and get into this ego trip that I can change anybody. So can you please, talk a bit more on those two aspects?
Okay. Horrible people managers who are all coaches today. And I really feel bad for their coaches. Those guys could never treat a person straight. Okay, either give him honest feedback or coach him to his potential or develop them or whatever it was. Suddenly, I see these guys posting on LinkedIn saying, I'm a coach, etc. And I really worry about it. Okay, so where does accreditation work? So accreditation works when there are some companies which say you need to be an ICF certified coach in order to be considered. Okay, that's one. Public sector, business schools. If you're not in the top 20 ranked business schools by NIRF, then you cannot secure business from public sector. So accreditation, okay? If you want to be a director of an IIT or an IIM, you need to have a PhD. So you need to ask yourself, where does the ICF accreditation hold value? Okay. Now, I saw an interesting data point which Debeshi put out, saying for a CEO it is $370, $367 exactly, etc., all that stuff. Okay, your accreditation must also be a badge of your revenue model. Now, if your accreditation, if all of you sitting here, 100 of you, okay, are ICF coaches, fair enough. Okay, a company asks for codes and each of you undercuts the other, then what's the value of your accreditation? Think about it carefully. So, it is good to have accreditation, but it's better to have the fundamentals of what that accreditation means. If all of you ganged up together and said, ganged up is the wrong word. Okay, all of you sat down together and said, look, the minimum rate, and consultants do this, okay, let me tell you that. The minimum rate per hour for middle management coaching, somebody with 5 to 10 years experience, is X dollars, and nobody will breach it. Then accreditation has a value.
Wow.
Otherwise it doesn't have value. Okay, it's just not a, slap on the, shoulder, whatever it is. Absolutely, it's not that. Okay, that's the first part. The second one you asked me, uncoachable. Who are uncoachable people? Uncoachable people are those who are full of themselves, who can't see beyond their nose. They are completely uncoachable. Uncoachable people repeat bad habits all the time. Okay, they repeat the bad habit all the time. You can see it and you can't change it. Okay, uncoachable people are unwilling to listen to reason. Okay, so they have poor self-awareness. So going back to the question you asked, Magda, I would say for coaching to stick, there are 3 elements which have to happen, and that defines the uncoachable part. First, an attitude shift. Do you see an attitude shift in your coaching? That attitude shift in your coaching is demonstrated through behavior. Is there behavior change? Okay. For example, person is a poor listener, is a behavior. Okay. How does a person demonstrate to you that he's listening better? Maybe he starts taking notes. Maybe he rewinds it, talks it back to you. Okay. So how does he get away? So first is shift in attitude, displayed through demonstrable behavior change, but most important of all, commitment to that behavioral change. So that's what I call the ABC, attitude, behavior, commitment. If in your coaches you do not see any of these 3, you should stop your coaching and tell him, look, you go on, you find somebody better. That's one. Second is uncoachable things happen when the personal chemistry doesn't work. So I had an Australian sales director called Bob McDougall, okay, who came to work for me in Nokia in Delhi, and we gave him a coach, Anand Bhatia, who was one of my directors in Hindustan Lever. Okay, some of the chemistry didn't work. So Bob McDougall, after 2 things, said, look, I don't think I can gel here, Shiv, so I will drop out. We said, fine. Then we assigned Petra Tarasoha, who was my CFO, who was a Finnish lady. And Anand and her got along like a, absolute fire. And for the next 3 years that she was here, every month she would go and she would say, I'm having my session with Anand, I just love it, etc. So personal chemistry is just as important. Okay, for you to give your best and for that person to get the best of you. Wonderful.
My client actually, expects me to also behave in a slightly more responsive way, and so, how does a coach, especially the one who is, how do you strike that fine balance between what I have been taught and how the real world operates a bit from a value addition to the client point of view? It's a dichotomy many of us live with. So we would like to throw in some perspective of yours, irrespective of what coaching says, because what I feel.
That knowledge cannot be shared. Knowledge can be shared.
Okay.
It does state in core coaching competencies.
Okay.
When a client is stuck, you have to help them unstuck.
Yeah.
And sometimes unstucking may happen through saying, may I offer you an example of another client I work with, right? Or hey, I just read this book and there was a suggestion there that might be helpful to you, right? But sharing wisdom, sharing knowledge is absolutely permissible by ICF core coaching competencies. So that's a little bit of a myth. The other thing is that there was a beautiful moment. Many of you may know also Janet Harvey, MCC. She was asked at some conference that we were together. She was asked, "What kind of coach you are? You know, executive, this, that." She goes like, "I am a coach who meets my client where they need me."
Wow.
I was okay. So meet because, and I think that we observe it a lot during the pandemic, that say you had a COO or CEO of a major organization that was your client, and you come to the coaching session and they said, "I'm a mess. I'm a mess. My spouse is sick. My kid is driving me nuts working from home. I'm a mess. I cannot be a good CEO. Can we coach on that?" You meet them where they are. And you need to, right? I think also with the challenge, we talk about challenge a little bit. Challenging a client is also something that many consultants do. We do it differently, but that challenge is also a part of not just following where the client takes you, but instead taking the client where they need to go to obtain and sustain that behavioral change, right? So I think that that we have to remember that we should not make the line blurred, but also let's be cognizant that there are certain things that are completely okay, normal, and within the parameter. And another thing is that it so depends on your contract with your client, right? If you contract with your client for a blend, that's also perfectly okay. Now, it could be a blind spot when your client asks you to be partly consultant, partly coach. Both sides can actually exemplify some blind spotting in that conversation. So sometimes I think as a coach, you may want to make that decision for yourself, that maybe it's better to work with two different people rather than blend it in one person.
Thank you. That's a wonderful answer. I think provides a lot of clarity to many of us. Shiv, anything you'd like to weigh in on that further? So I think I already got messages that time is up. So
I think the audience would have some questions.
I will now stop and open to the audience.
And sustaining a business. So you can find it on our website. Second, many chapters like yourselves do organize brilliant seminars, webinars on the subject. And what is systemically probably most sustainable is that nowadays more and more coaching education offers a module in business of coaching. This is so true, and I think people are a little bit more cognizant right now when they come into coaching, because before it was like, I'm gonna finish my training and then miraculously the clients will line up and it's gonna be beautiful. We did a research several years back that indicated that the typical coach, solopreneur, coaches 30% of their time. The rest is running business of coaching. So it's tremendous, right? I think we also have a microsite, which basically is for people who are considering becoming coaches. And there is a red flashing light saying think about all these aspects before you get into commitment and investment in your coach training. And third thing, or whatever, how many things, I said last thing I'm gonna say is that especially if somebody works as an individual coach, it is no different than any other small business. You have to be prepared for first 3 years to actually suck. We know it from research. First 3 years are hard. If you survive 3 years, things started looking much better, and if you get to 5 years, you're good to go. It's not different than any other small business, and I think that realization has to perhaps be highlighted a little more But then, as I said, there are multiple resources that are available to coaches and often offered by other coaches, which is the best. If you go through hardship, you probably can tell the story best.
Morning. My question is to both of you, Shiv and Magda. So, a lot of serious conversation about building business, competition in ecosystem, learning a little more ahead than for coaching. So, what are your suggestions? How can coaches have all the fun as well?
I guess with everything else that we do, some research up front is very important. I don't hear it as much these days, but in the early days, many people went into coaching, and within a couple of years they said it actually is not for me. I think that they were the precursors of leaders using coaching skills, because they went back to their corporate jobs often, or whatever they would start doing, but they already had that basis of having coaching approach, being different as a manager, being different as a leader. And you know, it's like whatever, however you define what gives you joy, that's what your own work plan needs to have space for. Because otherwise, like any other profession, you just burn out. And we do see a lot of burnout in coaches because coaches are terrible at taking care of themselves. So this is something that we also put in our code of ethics, that taking care of self is as important than taking care of your client. So just know what it is and make space for it.
Thank you, everyone. Given that coaching has really boomed in the last few years, and we have so many more, coaching institutes and newly minted coaches. And recently I read that we are taking off the recordings from the credentialing criteria. So my question is, how are we maintaining standards of who gets a PCC and an MCC?
Standards, so ISO standard 17024, my favorite. Those standards actually are looking into content and process. And there are different ways of actually the multiplication of evaluating the qualifications is a better way than single recording or two recordings. So we are actually moving into a much more stringent process than we used to have. And I tell you, like again, with any other profession, the market really is verifying the quality of a coach. You can't find clients, don't blame it on the market. Maybe there is something going on with your own approach and your own ability to work with the client and to leave them with a satisfying feeling after your arrangement. We are responsible for global standard as a largest organization for coaching, and as such, as I said, we are aligning. We are actually trying to receive the ISO accreditation for our credentialing, and that's seriously important because that means that we are saying we're a standard, and we will be recognized as such, not only by popular demand, if you will, and market recognition, but also as that approval from an external international body.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Shiv. It is a constant read. Between sessions, I read that. There are a lot of ways people kind of, realign themselves in between the session. For me, it's his book. So thank you so much.
Very few gifts. Why not more? Thank you.
In the camera, ma'am, please. You're looking great.
Thank you so much.
Thanks a lot for keeping it.
Five more minutes.
Hello, everyone.
Hello. Please.
Process that you're witnessing today. Okay? And you'll hear it from
Community Services, led by Mr. Kenneth. Big round of applause.
Magda, you're truly uplifting and inspiring with your presence, and we are very grateful to have you here. Thank you so much. I want to start with a slogan that emerged from our hub meeting. It goes like, who are we? We are the champions of Delhi. Who are we? We are the champions of Delhi. Who are we? Louder! We are the champions of Delhi. Thank you. Thank you so much. Indeed we are. The community service portfolio, along with my awesome custodians today, feel deep gratitude and quiet pride. Not because we are sharing an update on our portfolio 2025 effort, but to tell the story of a movement we call the Circle of Trust. The heart of this movement was in this simple belief. Coaching in the social sector is coaching at its courageous best. Let me repeat that and let it sink. Coaching in the social sector is coaching at its courageous best. And here is why. When one leader is being coached, the impact of it does not stop with just one life. It travels with that leader to his team, his organization, the end beneficiaries, the families, communities, and ultimately a future that impacts nation building. That became the heartbeat of our Circle of Trust. The North Star, always begin with the end in mind. Always ask the why, and we heard Mr. Shiv say that as well. So our North Star is embedded in this potent question. Who holds the leader who is holding everyone else? And that question became the heartbeat of our portfolio. Now, every leader that we worked with has a story, has a connect, and has a passion that is beyond himself. So for me, it was clear that the North Star of our portfolio had to rest on three crucial pillars of success. We call it access, impact, and dignity. Access, impact, and dignity. Because for us, the mission was to take coaching beyond privilege, to take coaching to purpose, and to take coaching to leaders of the grassroots who serve with dignity. So coaching in service of those who serve became the center of everything that we did in the community. To take this story forward, I'll invite Indu, and she will continue from here. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Emma Sindhu, and I believe people know me that I traveled all the way from Hyderabad to this event because this is my home chapter after becoming a credentialed coach. So I have come back to home. I'm an executive and leadership coach, an emotional intelligence trainer, and one of the founding members of the community service portfolio. And I'm here to talk a bit about the real energy and strength of our portfolio. Our amazing volunteer coaches. When I see these faces, these are not just photographs. These are the hearts that's been donated, the calendars that stretched, the coaches who said yes when it could have been easier for them to stay busy elsewhere. And it's a combination of ACCs, PCCs, MCCs, some senior professionals, emerging coaches, and deeply committed human beings coming together for one purpose, to serve. And to all the volunteer coaches here, what I would love to say is you did not offer coaching hours. You offered your presence. You offered dignity and a belief. And sometimes belief is the first leadership resource that a grassroots leader receives. And that's our motto of the community service. For a moment, may I request all the Circle of Trust volunteers present in this room to just raise your hands. Not a volunteering community. This is our chorus. This is our Circle of Trust. Project Ignite 2025 came alive through our 3 NGO partners. And the logos that you see here is not just logos, these are our living missions. You and I from Bangalore, Impact Guru Foundation from Mumbai, and Deepalaya from Delhi with different geographies, diversified geographies. And this journey would have not been possible without my project managers. Neha Sharma, Aditi Chaudhary, Garima Saluja, and they were deeply supported and committed by the volunteer deputy coach managers Pratishtha Balla and Anil Banga. And I should not forget to mention my own volunteer coaches come trainers who have gone all the way from being just coaches by offering certain leadership workshops, which is one of our separate initiative for the grassroots leaders. Special thanks to Aditya Sisodia, Sangeeta Dasgupta, and Diya. And this is what we call as our Circle of Trust. Now I'll pass on the mic to Garima Saluja to take over, please.
Everyone, I am Garima. Many of you may know me because I'm serving as Director Communications with the chapter. I am a coach for emerging leaders, especially women leaders, and a co-founder for the Community Service Division. So here I'm talking about the structure of our community service. So this work needed heart, but heart itself alone was not sufficient. So we built it on our chapter's 3S model, which says sustainable, smart, and service-oriented. Why sustainable? Because good intentions without structure are exhausting. Smart, because service needs choices too. And service-oriented, because the spotlight was on purpose-led communities. Personally, it has been a huge learning experience for me. So Kenneth always says, in music, emotion matters, but without rhythm, it is just a noise. So this portfolio needed both, the emotion of service and rhythm of structure. Compassion gave it its heart, but systems gave it its spine. Thank you. Over to my Aditi now.
Hello everyone, I'm Aditi Chaudhary. I'm a parent and youth coach, and I'm so happy I've chosen this niche because this was affirmed and spoken by Magda and Shiv today about the need of coaching in schools and colleges. So I'm happy I'd made that decision. And I'm the founding member of Community Service Portfolio, and I also served as project manager for Impact Guru Foundation. Now, as is with all endeavors taken for the higher good, our projects also had their share of difficulties. But we in the circle of trust chose to see opportunities where obstacles arose. One such unique challenge was that of offering coaching in the vernacular language. Now, some of our courageous coaches from the circle of trust stepped up with openness and adaptability. By coaching their clients in a language most familiar to them, they created spaces that were open, safe, where they felt truly heard, spaces they had no idea existed. And then something beautiful happened. Coaches stretched beyond their limits and shone brilliantly, and social sector leaders opened up, shared their struggles, and learned new ways to grow and strengthen their leadership and impact. And I think that's where magic was created for all of us. And here are our behind the scene magicians, our mentors, our guiding lights. Thank you so much, Debeshi, Krishnan, Uttara, and Kathleen. I think they cheered us on, they had our backs all through this journey. Thank you so much. And on the other side of the slide, the happy bunch of people you see, that's us, the community service team, led beautifully and very in an inspiring way by Kenneth. And I think we came together just a year ago, and we were a bunch of inspired individuals wanting to make a difference. But somewhere along the way, we were not just individuals working alongside each other. We became a team united by a shared purpose and wanting to bring these 3 projects to life in the best possible manner. Along the way, there were, I think, and yes, all 4 of us had 2 daughters. So karmic connection, I know. So similar struggles, right? So there were I think millions of Zoom calls, conversations, challenges seemed fun. And we learned, we grew together, and here we are today. And I think we grew not just as collaborators, but as people who genuinely cared for each other and for the impact we wanted to create together. Thank you.
So this slide looks heavier with words, but it is even heavy in its meaning. So I'm not going to read each line, but I'm going to bring out the spirit of what feedback we got from the leaders we coached in this project. One leader said they gained clarity on how they want to show up with more patience, more self-awareness, and less pressure to be perfect. Another leader said They came in looking for productivity hacks, but left understanding their own resistance, their own patterns, and their own avoidance. One founder said, coaching helped me move from a Sunday mindset into action-oriented mentality. One leader said something that stayed with me deeply. Earlier, they used to measure the productivity by how much they can handle. And now, they have shifted to that how intentionally they are able to handle. This is the power of coaching. It's not fixing, it's not a rescue, and not even advice. It is a mirror, a pause, a shift. And when I read these lines, these testimonials, I truly believe in the transformational power of coaching. Thank you so much. Now I'll pass it to Kenneth.
Thank you, everyone. That was wonderful. And now we come to what we accomplished. And if you just look at these numbers, it's a testimony of the success, the impact, and influence that was created by the community service portfolio. So these numbers matter, but they matter because behind every number is a name. Every name tells a story, and every story is connected to a community. And today, as we are celebrating Delhi NCR chapter's recognition as a high-performing chapter and honored with chapter excellence, it's a reminder when we put our heart, mind, and passion to where it's needed the most, we can achieve wonders. So I'd like to leave us, everyone in this coach, every coach in this room, I would like to invite you with a personal invitation. Let us continue and take coaching where it is needed and not just where it is requested. I'd like to end by singing a few lines from the band Queens and the song called We Are the Champions, because it definitely calls out the essence of why we're gathering today. Are we ready? Yeah. All right, so here we go. We are the champions, my friend, and we'll keep on fighting till the end. We are the champions. We are the champions. No place for losers, 'cause we are the champions of ICF world. Thank you. May I to felicitate our volunteers. Okay.
The human beings would come together for one purpose, and it's not just a recognition for the individuals, it's the service that has gone in, it's the heart that's gone in, it's the purpose for which we are here today. So I'll be calling out the names in an order, and we'll also be able to see the order in the screen, and as I call you up, my request is please line up in this order and come and receive your honors through with the hands of Magda. And once we are done, please don't leave the stage. We'll click a group pic, and we want it as for the Circle of Trust Champions together. So please stay on the left side of the stage once we are done with the honoring. I hope that's clear from here. Yeah. And let's start. We have the first person on the stage, Aditya Kichoria.
One picture.
No. I invite Shantanu Das Gupta. Alright. And this project had 12 participants and 12 coaches eminently performing and working. And Rohit is followed by
One picture.
Kanika is followed by Monica Rao.
Camera. Thank you.
And Neha Sharma is not being able to and coach of you and I.
One picture. Thank you.
A prodigal son, KP.
I would like to invite V. Krishnan, our coach, as well as a portfolio mentor onto the stage next. And followed by him is Dr. Deepak Gupta, the volunteer coach for Impact Group Foundation. Please line up Sangeeta Das Gupta, our coach and leadership trainer, facilitator for you and I and Impact Group Foundation. Next on is Dr. Amitabh Kumar for Impact Guru Foundation. Alok Sharma for the Impact Guru Foundation. I would like to invite Rajan Sinha. Rajan Sinha ji, please come on to the stage. Alright, okay. And Rachna Khanna, board member. Anil Banga played the role of Deputy Project Manager for Pratishtha Bhalla for Impact Guru Foundation. Sorry, Deepalaya.
The Deputy Project Manager.
Deputy Project Manager.
And now our very own MS Indu, coach and project supervisor, and backbone for our project. And how can we miss our own Kenneth? The person behind this, Kenneth, leader, director, community services. Now request all of you to come on stage for a group photograph.
So silence. The coaches love that.
Hooah, 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 wait! Hooah, 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 wait!
Wait, please wait. Kenneth, 3, 2, 1, start. Okay, one more.
do that because I want to wear my specs and show some wisdom as well. More often. I need it more.
You always look very.
Oh, I love you, Rohit, always. So a lot is already said. And trust me, you're going to hear a lot of repetitions today because it is just not about a chapter portfolio. It is about the whole chapter. It is about this community. And it is about the shared love and passion that all of us sitting here hold for the community and for the coaching profession. So one of the the key responsibilities of any ICF chapter is to create meaningful opportunities for its community to grow further. And I'm going to tell you the story very briefly about how all of what we are doing is contributing to the chapter's commitment to being sustainable, smart, and service-oriented. To understand that, it is definitely useful to begin with the need why this special portfolio even exists in the Delhi NCR chapter. Because you would already be aware of, or maybe some of us do not know this portfolio does not exist in a lot of chapters across the globe.
Wow.
The inspiration comes from the very definition of what ICF says is the chapter role. It says, deliver what your members seek. And as coaches, we know that mastery develops through practice, reflection, and feedback. So we decided to literally listen to our community, do a pulse check. And we met a lot of you, and you shared your needs with us. What are your expectations? What would you love for us as a chapter representatives to do for you in service and towards growth of the coaching community? And what emerged is the response of the chapter. So, in our attempt to create this ecosystem where all of this requirement could be brought together, we began thinking in terms of programs first. But then we realized that programs will only create an experience, but systems will create continuity. And to make that possible, we needed systems to ensure that they would last and outlast any one single initiative or any one single individual. What came about was significant focus paid towards developing capability rather than dependencies. And we started building structures. We established a learning structure such as coach circles, reciprocal peer coaching frameworks, which were existing. We're not saying we did it for the first time, but we brought everything together in form of structure. There were operational systems established, including ambassador-led coordination, communication workflows, and tracking processes throughout the program. And we developed practical assets that each and every practicing coach in the coach circle, in all the labs or the programs that we create could use, whether they are the coaching compass, reflection tools, and we also collated a repository of resources they could use throughout the duration of the program. These systems, and I'm very proud to say, they will now be providing a foundation that any future volunteer leader and the future cohorts that can keep building and improving upon. And through these,
we also wanted to bring about and keep at the nucleus sustainability. When we started asking ourselves, how do we ensure that all of this remains more than just a one-time initiative, sustainability became the nucleus. And the design, the delivery, the capturing of the learning, reflections and outcomes, all of that was approached in a very different way. So rather than starting from the scratch every time, any future leaders can inherit a strong foundation, allowing not only the portfolio but the community to benefit and evolve while remaining very, very aligned to the members' needs. And of course, that is how was born the hero. The Coach Connect Plus Reciprocal Peer Coaching Lab 2025, which brought together 50 participating coaches, 5 MCC mentor coaches, and 5 ambassadors, volunteer leaders to operate through what we call the coach circles. What made this even more meaningful for all of us was not just the number of participants and coaches involved, but the intentional integration of peer coaching, mentoring, reflection. And a lot of you who participated would know there was a lot of accountability. The lab created opportunities for coaches not only to learn from one another, deepen their coaching practice, and contribute to a stronger coaching community. But one of the most important outcomes we found was that it enabled the development of volunteer leadership like never before. And it gave us a model that can continue to evolve in future cohorts, with future leaderships, with future boards of any terms, which is timeless. As a chapter, it's very good. I'm still talking about one initiative. How does it become sustainable? So we decided to test it. I'm going to fast forward a little bit to 2026. All of this was 2025. This lab was working from June 2025 to October 2025, and we decided to take a pause, but held back. And we participated in the Coach a Coach program, which was hosted by ICF Australasia this year. And we decided to test the structures that we had created. Does that work even when the initiative is not our own? And I want to only give you some data because everyone loves data as evidence. So there were 18 chapters, over 380 coaches participating. What was shared with us was the overall completion rate of the program, which ended, and this was announced in the first week of June itself, 2026. The overall completion was 13.6%. 6 months, only 13.6% of triads completed a 6 peer coaching, reciprocal peer coaching session program. I don't think that is something I would like you to applaud on. What you would be able to applaud for is 95% of our Delhi NCR participating coaches completed this. And this makes 36% of the completion rate of the entire program being contributed by Delhi NCR chapter. What made it possible was the same structure that we brought here. We put all those participating coaches in a circle-like structure again. a WhatsApp community which was very closely, tightly knit, providing support, providing responses to their queries, troubleshooting when a triad was not working, and some of us are here who have experienced that disruption during the journey. And there was encouragement throughout. And most importantly, we were learning from each other as well and sharing our wins, sharing how it was going for us in that WhatsApp group. So structure does work. If it is also warmly held, completion and engagement simply remains strong. But beyond completion and participation, we've never focused on that. This was just a case study. The most important is the meaningful impact that everyone shared they felt. It is on the quality of conversations, the connections that emerged beyond these numbers, and of course, the diversity that it represented. Whether it is an ACC, PCC, MCC coach that participates, it brings the diverse learning and wisdom to the coaching community. And people participated from all the different diverse geographies as well. And in India, within India itself, we represent cultures. We have a rainbow of cultures. So that gives the coaching community a lot of learning by itself. And this is just a picture, just a representation of the reflections that were shared by participants. And these are not simply program outcomes for us. This is the indicator of a learning community where coaches are growing together and supporting each other. I just couldn't resist sharing this one picture. It is a complete full circle moment for me. What started as just a design on paper became a lived experience for all of us. Volunteers, coaches, mentors alike. Having a global leaders presence, Magda, we love you. You're always there for us. Thank you. Experience meant to them. And as chapter leaders, perhaps there is no better validation than seeing the participants leave not only with learning, but a strong sense of connection and much deeper belonging than ever. And that exactly, I would say, is the purpose of DEIB. And I wish our director DEIB was present here for how many times we are telling we are compliant and not by pressure, by choice, by design, by passion. That's who we are. We do not even want that stamp because we do not operate otherwise. And when I step back, look across as a whole, the broader chapter impact becomes visible. Through this portfolio from June 25 to June 26, 72 coaches were engaged in structured peer learning opportunities. 10 volunteer leaders contributed as mentors and ambassadors. And more importantly, pathways for continuous learning were created. Opportunities for leadership came about. And a stronger community connection and systems that can be sustained and improved over time is what we witnessed. And that is what being sustainable, smart, and service-oriented looks like in practice to us. And while the systems and frameworks matter a lot, they only come alive when the people choose to contribute and serve. And it will be an honor and privilege to share with you and bring to you these volunteer leaders as mentor coaches who served as ambassadors for the Coach Connect Plus program. To begin with the mentor coaches here present, I would like to acknowledge their invaluable role that they played throughout the journey. And sincere thanks to all the 5 mentor coaches present here. that so generously was shared across the coach circles and throughout the reciprocal peer coaching lab that was called Coach Connect Plus. And I would want to call upon them one by one, before which I request Magda and Robert to please take the stage and help us felicitate these givers with joy. Jaya, for your experience and wisdom and wholehearted support to the Mandala Circle. And I would request all the volunteers to please stay here. She was our mentor coach for the Coach Circle Thrive Tribe. Thank you for your generous support, Sandhya. We heard that you made an environment which made the invisible visible in the circle. That's the name of her book. And our heartfelt thanks to her for her service. We will come back to the mentor coaches who haven't come here yet. But moving on, every successful community initiative needs people who work relentlessly at the back end. And CC Plus ambassadors, the volunteer leaders, were actually the bridge between our intention and the execution of the whole program. They coordinated, they encouraged, they followed up, they also troubleshooted, and sometimes pulled all of us up. And that is what we call accountability with a gentle nudge. So please, I want to call upon one by one in the same order that I see them on the slide. Ashi Bisaria, thank you so much for your contribution to the safe heaven.
We need a big round of applause for all these volunteers. They are our heroes and heroes.
Isha Ajmera, the ambassador for Mandala Coach Circle. Thank you for the relentless service and unwavering support to the circle coaches. Mahesh, your circle reboot with so much of enthusiasm. And Aditi Chaudhary, we thank her for the consistent efforts and her dependable support throughout the journey. She was supporting the Catalyst Crucible. And in absentia, I also want to recognize Sandhya with her coach circle. Thank you, Rajni. She's also out of country, could not make it to this day.
Inviting elegant Bharti to please collect your... Thank you so much, Bharti. Lovely work and very, very inspiring. Thank you so much. We have our very own Seema to lead us from here into the work and the depth of work that she's done for the chapter. Seema, please, welcome, all yours. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Kenneth. It's so good to hear your name from others. This picture of Meetup Heroes, what we created in-house, And last year during the 10 Lighten, when we celebrated our 10th anniversary of the chapter, we received valuable feedback from many members. While they appreciated the larger events and learning opportunity, they also expressed a desire for something more personal and informal in between these flagship programs. Members wanted spaces where they could simply meet fellow coaches, exchange ideas, build relationships, share experiences, and moreover, enjoy conversations, the fun part of it. And that could be over a cup of tea, coffee, not beer of course, but please restricted to tea, coffee and cookies because we had a little budget. In essence, they were looking for more opportunities to connect as a community beyond structured events. Our team took this feedback seriously and began exploring different possibilities. We asked ourselves, what is it that we can do it which is simple yet impactful, and which can remain practical, scalable, sustainable. As we brainstormed, we realized that our members are spread across several cities. As you know, this is the largest chapter where you have almost 7 cities which are part of National Capital Region. Creating numerous meetup locations, or the hubs as we call them, was not possible to start with if we talk about sustainability. So the first S, it came into play. Instead of trying to do everything at once, we divided to start small and strong. We identified 3 local hubs, Delhi, Gurgaon and Noida, and all other small cities, coaches coming from there, they had a choice to join the nearest hub, and launched pilot meetups, creating spaces where members could gather more easily within their own communities, nearby, not long distance. The idea was to build something that could go organically and continue to thrive over time. The second S, which is smart, which is close to our heart, rather than creating a heavily structured program requiring significant budgets, venues, or administrative effort, we leveraged what already existed. And what was existing for us? Every one of you, our incredible network of coaches, members. The model was simple and smart. Local volunteers stepped forward to host and facilitate gatherings. Members chose connection over complexity. By keeping the format flexible and member-driven, we created something that was easy to replicate and easy to participate in. And then comes the third S, which is service-oriented. And this is how service-oriented? It was by the members, for the members. At its heart, Meetup Hero is an act of service. It is about members creating spaces for other members. It is about giving time, energy, and care to strengthen our coaching community. It is about fostering belonging, collaboration, and mutual support. Every Meetup Hero, whom you are going to meet and see the pictures, who stepped forward did so not because they had to, but because they wanted to contribute to the growth and well-being of the community. Today, when we look at the impact of these meetups, we see much more than gatherings. Please recognize yourself where you are, part of these pictures.
Yes.
We see new relationships being formed, peer learning taking place, collaborations emerging, and members feeling more connected to the ICF community. You saw the Delhi, now you're looking at the Gurgaon. So identify yourself, people from Gurgaon. Who are here from Gurgaon?
Yes.
Yay! Who are here from Delhi? Sorry, I forgot to ask. Okay, all right. What started as a simple response to member feedback has evolved into a vibrant community initiative that reflects the very spirit of coaching, that is connection, partnership, and contribution. So as we celebrate Meetup Heroes today, we are not just celebrating an initiative. We are celebrating the volunteers who brought it to life, the members who embraced it, and the collective beliefs that meaningful communities are built one conversation at a time. Noida people, who are here from Noida? Rajan! Yay! Yay! Let's see who cheers for home. Delhi! Wow! Amitabh, that was good. That was 1 is equal to 10 people. Thank you all our Meetup Heroes for demonstrating the power of sustainability, smart and service orientation, and for helping create spaces where our coaching community can truly, strongly thrive. Thank you so much. I know all of you, most of you are here. We have 2 missing, but we will be honoring them at a later stage. They could be part of it. May I invite Magda again back on stage, along with Vijay, Robert, Debeshi, everyone, because this is one of. She organized a picture, a get together at one of the gardens here in Delhi, as you could see somewhere in her picture. Yeah. Yes, yes. She's around. Thank you. That's all. No, there's no confusion. Big round of applause for all your interesting conversations, coffees, stand important, your belongingness, feeling homecoming. And this is your second appearance on the stage, so you're the volunteer plus. Can we have a big round of applause? Absolutely. Thank you very much. I want to say something about Sanjeev. Being a treasurer, he's very frugal mindset. Okay? Which is right. I mean, that's how it should be. So he says, I have...
Because we can demand the moon of him.
Yes, yes. And he says, no, I have only this much budget and you have to play around it, you know. And we managed it so beautifully. Of course, we contributed if we go over the budget. But thank you very much, Sanjeev. Thank you very much. And our next Meetup hero from Noida, Mr. Radhakanji, couldn't be here. Though he said he will try because of fighting his. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Succession planning already happened.
Camera, please.
Also matching.
Maybe I can be a little more wiser.
Bangia.
We met on the stage now. You have to do something about it.
Alright, so what do we do, Kanika? Let's do something about it.
Points and more medals.
By the way, heroes gender neutral.
Oh, yeah, you comply.
Yes.
How much time do I have?
5 minutes.
Before I start, thank you so much, all the volunteers, all the chapter leaders, because membership director doesn't do anything extra apart from what all the portfolio leaders do. And Delhi chapter, if you see 60 plus volunteers from a chapter, that itself speaks about the member engagement which I'm talking about. Thank you so much, Kenneth, Bharti, Seema, and all the chapter ambassadors and all the volunteers who ensured all the members of the chapter are part of some activity, serving to the community, peer coaching, meetups. So I'll talk about those in next slides, but I'll sum it up here largely because there's nothing new I'm going to add from what has been done. And all thank you to all of us who have made this a success. Thank you so much once again. So I stand here with my team. So my team comprises of Debeshi, who has been ideating new ideas, as we all heard of all those initiatives which have been talked about on this stage. A lot of those came from the ideation mind from there, right? I have Garima Saluja, who was part of the Circle of Trust and also helped me in my membership. Without Garima, I would not have been able to do what I have been able to do. Thank you so much, Garima. I have Shantanu Das Gupta, who is not here, but he was also part of the Circle of Trust, and he helped me a lot in the outreach programs which we did for inviting members to the community. And I have Sandhya Bhargava, the new leader joining the chapter, who is helping me in all the initiatives I'm taking in the last 4 or 5 months. For example, in the Raga, if you got an email from my side, it was Sandhya Bhargava doing all the work at the back, right? All the new registrations, all the payments, all the renewals. I will mention, currently we don't have a system. We have Excels we work on. So every time we get an email, every time someone makes a payment, it's an individual email we receive. And all those have to be processed. So I have only 2 hands, they're not enough. So I have more hands here. So thank you so much, my membership team, for helping us reach where we are right now. So I'll just take 5 minutes to bring where we were and where we have reached. So as any chapter grows, as any community grows, we need improved systems which can scale. You can't work manually. The chapter needs better infrastructures in terms of processes, in terms of work automation. The coaches deserve to be seen, to be visible. If we have a 200 plus people community in the Delhi chapter, how do the coaches get seen by others outside the chapter? That was the opportunity we started with. And how we got here. So first of all, I would thank the previous board, from whom we took the reins, and they built the chapter with warmth. The chapter was greatly engaged already, all built on trust and self-care which we had. And from there, when we moved on, we just structured the data, created Excel modelings, because it was very difficult to manage the chapter at a scale with simple Excel files which we managed earlier. And then we went for outreach programs. We reached out to institutions. I'll show you some glimpses also. We reached out to institutions to talk about the chapter, to talk about the community, how coaching helped the entire community, all the industry leaders. We reached out to those global members who had registered themselves as Delhi chapter affiliates but did not join the chapter. So we took out those data and we reached out. We created inner circles for all the chapter leaders of Delhi chapter, and each GB member, the governing board member, was responsible to reach out to certain set of global members to join the chapter. Thanks a lot to Krishnan, Kaushik for their special efforts to bring those members, those global leaders, those global members to a chapter. Thank you so much. Without it, Krishnan and Kaushik, special names I'm taking because they were the first ones to take the initiative, and within 3-4 days we reached out to everyone. The rest we assigned to them. Thank you so much. And we did some engagement about Meetup Heroes, which we just talked about, Seema talked about. And again, same 3-year strategy, build systems which are sustainable, which doesn't depend on a particular leader, which doesn't depend on a particular director. Directors come and go, systems remain, processes remain. And which should be smart. Something should be trackable. What is trackable, what is measured, you can manage better. And something which is service oriented. We work for the chapter and everything is done by the chapter itself. What we build, we already talked about the volunteering membership. All volunteers sitting here and they vouch for the volunteering which all of have done. We talked about Raga. So Raga, we all know it's a flagship event which Delhi chapter does. This year we did the second such event, and it was a great engagement for all the chapter members. And Raga also invited the industry leaders who saw the power of the community, what Delhi chapter can do as coaches. for them, for the industry. And we have worked on the member engagement, which I'll talk about in next slides. So here are some glimpses very quickly already shown up. So this was an outreach program we did with Surbhi's institution. We shared about what chapter is, what chapter can do for them, and we invited their trainees, their students to join the chapter. And we had a great response from the outreach program which we did. We have a WhatsApp community, Guests of Raga, because we created this at the time of Raga. And this group has 188 members, as I took a screenshot tomorrow evening.
Wow.
And this has all those people, all those chapter leaders, all those industry leaders, all those coach enthusiasts who wish to be part of the community but they can't join the chapter directly. So we share all the information about what we do as a chapter, so to ignite their interest, and we invite them from this community to join our events when we organize. We do social media outreach. So today's program, which we have after this lunch, is already there on LinkedIn, right? Raga, I already talked about, it brings the chapter of branding as well. Chapter branding is very important for the industry to outreach to us. Meetup heroes, we just acknowledge them, we recognize them, some glimpses from them. We have a Hope Choir led by Kenneth, and we heard yesterday, day before yesterday, we all got a glimpse of the Hope Choir as well. We celebrated the 10 Lighten, this very stage, this very hall last year, and again we are here once again. And now I'll talk about the sustainability piece which I shared in my second slide. Moving from Excel to systems, because my chapter is growing from 200 to it will reach 500 very soon, I'm sure. We can't manage only Excel files, so we need a system for that.
Yes, 391 engaged, that's the target.
Yeah. So I coming from a technology background as well and knowing some AI and trying to learn more. So I use technology to build a system to manage the entire membership for the chapter, removing all the Excel files, no manual work, everything should be done by the system. I'll take next 5 minutes to talk about this initiative which has been taken very recently and how it can help us going ahead. So this has been built by the chapter itself, whole objective being twofold. Number one, the membership management should be easy. There should be no manual work to be done. First, I'll show you some screenshots. And number two, it becomes a self-service portal for our members. Members should be able to log in, see their information, renew, see the events, wherever they want to register. So that's the whole objective, by industry, by credential, by name. And this is the list of 4 which you can see as a mock-up. So everyone who is listed here, you can go and see their profiles as well. This is live and it's a website. So every coach gets a website on the chapter domain. All of you can see yours when you log in. So 3-fold page I can show you here right now. So it contains all the contact, you can do your work for, they know which type of coach you are, you can talk about your coaching philosophy, about yourself. You can also talk about, keep on adding as I get some new ideas from my entire team here.
It is already live.
It's already live. This is already live. As I speak, the objective was all. Can I please invite Debeshi, Garima, Sanka, and Shantanu is not here on the stage. Throughout all the initiatives which I do, pushing me for the ruthless execution, if I can use a word, right? So she is hard, but then that's what
we complete this without an expert. Can we have more round of applause, please? Yes, it's a celebration time. More you clap, more you will enjoy your lunch break, which is coming up. Thank you, everyone. Can we have a group picture?
different news channel.
Thank you for your time, your little nudges to the coaches to helping them grow further. Thank you, Shweta.
In the Indic wisdom is conscience. Vivek is conscience, and conscience leads to bliss. So I think what we saw the last 50 minutes was extremely blissful in how to make members visible, accessible, and stay in the business of coaching. So I don't know why as coaches needs to be deep thinkers. And I often keep confused in felicitating and facilitating. Yes. That's a tongue twister. And once it happened, when I said I'm the MC, there was a reverb, and then somebody went and said, "Hey Kaushik, congratulations, you are an MCC," because the reverb happened at the right time. So think about it. Yeah. On a serious note, I remember my physics lessons which said focus is equal to, impact is equal to focus upon area. So I think what we did is we actually, made the markets, made the geos into smaller strips, and we focused on them, and that's supposed to be at the India Coaching Conclave at Bangalore. And a lot of faces have been there. And it was from sports as a discipline. There were speakers from the team. And in that, there were several award categories. And the contingent of Delhi. And she received the Trailblazer Award in recognition of her contribution to advancing the coaching profession through innovation, visible to shine with the award that you had got. Aditya received the Executive and Leadership Coach Award for delivering clear and measurable coaching outcomes with leaders in organizational settings. For your information, he is the one who moved from ACC to MCC and to ACTC in the fastest track. Usain Bolt, 9.9. This guy is faster. Serenity and absolute tranquility. Sangeeta received the Community Impact Award for using coaching to create meaningful and measurable change for communities and underserved groups.
Delhi chapter, because of the ignite that it ignites in each one's heart of aligning the passion, the purpose, and the profession of coaching together.
Wonderful. Passion, purpose, and profession. One more acronym, 3 Ps. Somewhere earlier somebody said SIN. It should be simple, impactful, and memorable. Now I have got the 3 Ps also. Gitika, I hope you are taking notes. And then we have the energy thread of the chapter. PR Play Green Energy. To receive the energy thread of the chapter award in recognition of the presence, commitment, and spirit he brings to the chapter. He's the one who does do more with less, do more with more, do less with less. All possible combinations are there. I take the honor of doing it. Yes. Culture winner for working with organizations, leading in the India coaching team on behalf of ZS and this ZS Associates, and the winner was Nidhi Agrawal, the diminutive, lessly spoken Nidhi. So this was the award for intentionally embedding coaching into leadership, people development, and everyday organization. You have shown brilliantly. And I said that we could have been 6. Yours truly was also nominated for the People's Choice Award. So, yeah. Thank you. And we had one of the juries sitting out here, Sunny Basin. Sunny, would you just show your hands up? This is 112 jury members of the India Coaching. Thank you, sir.
Maybe there should be an award for the MCC.
Whole team has great talent at work. Yes, yes, yes. So everywhere, anywhere on earth, if you are doing an event, we got excellent keynote speakers. They all shown. We got excellent technocrats. They all shown, right? And we have excellent MCs. So please hire us. And on a serious note, please hire us across the globe. We will make ICF shine. Thank you so much.
Very good. BD pitch done by Pathak. Yes, what a pitch. What a pitch.
To have this topic to be discussed in more details, and to take this forward, I invite Debeshi.
Embedded victory. Vijay Lakshmi is synonymous with bringing victory. ICF executive board member, but she came in and she declared that the chapter is going to win an award, and somebody being visionary, right? And level is, and still, like, if you have a conversation with her and people are saying, like, I'm ruthless, vision of volunteering, not just India, in the globe, will, like, who enters the call is not going to, will step out. So I'm not going to keep you from what she has to share. So welcome, Vijay. This is your home as well. Thank you.
And yes, this time coming here feels like being home. It's so good to be back here with all of you. And honestly, after we saw volunteer leadership in action, to a room that's just brimming with energy and exuberance and passion. So I just went back. So I prepared some things last night. I always do. And I said, no, I don't think I can say any of that stuff, right? Because it's like preaching to the choir. So tough spot, and I think a little close to lunch, that's even tougher. But what I'm going to do in the next, sometime, couple of minutes, is to talk from my heart and really try and connect some of the threads I also heard here today. And I am extremely privileged to have Magda, Shweta, who also gave another prediction here. She's almost not there, but so she said I would be on the global side, and I had no clue about that. So here I am. So I don't know what it is. Maybe it's a Delhi chapter thing. You say something here on stage and it happens.
From Delhi to the world.
And I can already see some nudges for membership requests. So, I'm seriously considering. After I saw the member management portal, I said this is like super cool. Okay, so let me stick to my topic and not go all over the place. Quick show of hands, because I saw a very, very encouraging audience. How many of you are seasoned volunteer leaders here? Old hands, okay? I should see many more hands, Okay, great. And how many of you are just starting out, in that volunteer leadership journey? Okay, a few hands. And how many of you are simply curious, saying, what's all this about? Why do people even give their time to do this kind of stuff? Go ahead, it's an honest conversation, right? Great. I think curiosity is the best place for a coach to be. So that's fantastic. So irrespective of who you are, I hope you will take away something from what I have to share, because that's what I promised Debeshi here. So let me start with this. Volunteer leadership is something very unique. I'll tell you why. It sits at the beautiful cusp of volunteering on one side, leadership on the other. I have seen people do this or that extremely well. The challenge is when these two worlds, I won't say collide, but they come together. And which is why
I think there's a big distinction between volunteering and volunteer leadership. Some of the best leaders can't really be great volunteers. And I've seen some fantastic volunteers who don't really lead the piece. And I think we at ICF, we in the coaching world are extremely blessed because of our 140 plus chapters. It's all run by volunteer leaders, right? Rarely would you see an institution that offers this kind of opportunity. And no, Debeshi, I'm not just wearing my ICF global hat here. I mean, I mean it, right? You can't see these kind of opportunities everywhere. For people to come, people who are part of the profession to also take the profession forward. You don't find that often. And I'm sure as many of you recognize it, it's interesting because it's leading without any authority, often without any hierarchy. So I remember the first time around in ICF when I think I formally, had a title, many years back. The first job I think I did was running, and this is like the pre-COVID era. I was sitting with a printer, haggling to get the right certificate printed out. I'm like, seriously, did I become a coach to do this? But that's the beauty of it, because it also keeps you humble. Often the challenge with leadership is as you go higher and higher, you lose lesser and lesser touch with the ground. So being a volunteer leader gives you both. And with equal elan, you can chair a conclave, you can do great things as well. So it's keeping two ends beautifully alive, which is what volunteer leadership often offers. And I want to again talk about the nuance as to why it's different from volunteering, because volunteering is service, is about raising your hand up. But when you also lead, you are not just doing your bit, you're taking along a whole lot of others along with you. So that drop can become a ripple, can really be the ocean. Yeah. So I'd like each one of you who raised your hand saying that I'm a volunteer leader, and for those of you considering, this is the beauty of volunteer leadership. You don't just do your bit, but it's always about what is the impact. What is the larger thing that holds all of this together? For me personally, volunteer leadership, and I'm also talking about doing this beyond of ICF. I used to be, I'm still a member of NHRD. I don't volunteer lead as much, and other organizations as well. I think for the longest time in my life, I've been doing it, but I think ICF allowed me to give a name to it, right? Figure this out. It's been a journey that's been exciting. Yeah, you do amazingly fun stuff. You saw all that, right? Hooting, cheering, all of that stuff. I mean, your meetups, whatever you do, social impact work, it's exciting. It's enriching. And I say this here, and I'm ready to be challenged by anyone. Being a volunteer leader, volunteering and leading together makes you a better coach. I could see that impact with my clients, the way I just showed up. Because it keeps you curious, it keeps you humble, it keeps you grounded, it keeps you extremely confident. And I can go on. I don't have an agenda, right? I'm not here like Debeshi or others canvassing for anyone to come and join. But this is my story. Because sometimes it also pushes and tests you to the limits of your patience. And you ask yourself several times over, why am I actually doing this? So that takes me to the heart and essence of volunteer leadership. And I'll just talk about 3 V's here, not because my name begins with V, as Debeshi said, but really sort of threading it, and hopefully you can make that connection. At the heart of volunteer leadership begins with vision. You saw a lot of vision in all of that, right? And irrespective of who spoke here, I only heard 3 S's. If you ask me what's the bottom line, I heard service, I heard sustainable, and I heard smart. Yeah?
You got it, Ritu.
I got it, right? So good student there. So you guys did a great job. I took that away with me. So it always goes back to what's the why. And I'm going to say something here. In organizations also we talk about vision, but somebody hands a vision to us. And this is the vision of the organization we all work. But when there are a community of people who come together to volunteer and lead, you craft your own vision. And sometimes you may not even have that vision. So if you're doing it, you feel like a lone ranger, it's fine. Still have a vision. Have a vision for irrespective of whether you're leading member meetups, you're designing a software, you're getting the finance going, you're running a conclave, it doesn't matter. The purpose as to why you're doing this is very, very important. For me, when I started off with ICF, it was to really, really sort of elevate a profession that I'm part of and to make it so awareness, access and advocacy was something that always kept me going, irrespective of the role. So having that is very important, a vision, and I don't have to, all of you understand it, but it gives you not just a dream, but the clarity to commit. Yeah? You put your money where your mouth is. I think that's what a vision gives you. I move on to the next one, which is values. And this is not just to sound good, sound cool. Values are what anchor you, which is why in ICF we have those 4 values that we always go back to. And it's very important. And at chapter level, you may have your own articulation of these values, which it should be, right? It needs to reflect your local heartbeat, who you stand for, what the ethos are. I need to walk into ICF Delhi and I should just know it's ICF Delhi because the values you guys stand for. And again, in volunteer leadership, because there is no hierarchy, there is no expressly defined power equations, there will be conflict. Is there a volunteer leader here who's not faced conflict in some form?
Everybody has faced.
Yeah? It's part of the process. And it's meant to be, because that is what makes it generative. That's what makes it courageous. That's what makes us challenge one another. Shiv spoke about that, right? As coaches, we need to be able to be that courageous voice. So volunteer leadership allows us to do it in a safe way with our peers. But again, when in doubt, always go back to the values. You'll find your answer. And I have one example. 2021, peak of the pandemic, we chose to run a conclave. Yeah, when people were struggling to keep their homes and their lives intact. We courageously did that. And we wanted to run it pro bono. I was part of ICF Chennai at that point of time and leading the conclave. We took a bold decision to run it pro bono because we came back and we said, at this time, in this context, what aligns us with our values most is pro bono. And the funny thing, and Sanjeev, that's for you, right? We landed up making a huge corpus for the chapter. Wow. Woo! It's strange, right? A pro bono, because the intent was so clear.
Intent to impact.
Intent to impact, right? The intent is right, your values are in place, the impact has to follow. And often not in your time. You'll find those seeds blooming years later. And I think that's where patience comes in, right? This is not something where you do something today, you see the impact tomorrow. It takes time. And I remember this conversation with Magda some time back. Impact is about what happens years later. And which is why sustainability comes in, right? Shweta is sitting here. I know the kind of work she's done globally. The impact will follow years later. And that's what makes it meaningful. Today when I see some of these things, right, and I must say, when Debeshi stands here and she says that, and I can say this, Debeshi, in a public forum, I've had the privilege to mentor her, formally and largely informally. For me, this is impact, right? Your idea may be way ahead of your time, but it will follow. It is about generation. That is legacy. It's not about you being in that title or anything for the laurels to follow. We all like laurels. These awards mean a lot, not because they look good, because you've done the hard yards. And sometimes the value of these awards will come years later. Yeah. So going back to values, when in doubt, stick to the values. They will never go wrong. Sometimes I have volunteer leaders ask me saying, I saw this happen, but I really didn't want to upset the cart. Do you know what? I would say, if you feel an ICF, an organization, your value has been challenged, you need to be able to stand up and talk about it. That's also integral to volunteer leadership. Not to say, what's in it for me? Right? From me to we. May not be nothing in it for you directly, but as the we get affected, that's also about values. The third we, which I want to talk about, is vitality. And you may not have heard of this one in the context of volunteer leadership. For me also, this is something I've kind of articulated, and in my head, that's the important we. Because vitality is derived from the Latin word vita or vita, which means life. It represents the capacity to live, grow, and develop, which is so integral to coaching, isn't it? Coaching is a profession of vitality and hope. And as volunteer leaders, we are best suited to do it. Simply put, another way to look at vitality is to bring in enthusiasm, resilience, and purpose-driven energy that energizes both yourself and others around you. Now, each of you standing here saying a story would have triggered something in a whole lot of us, right? That energy that we feel, even though we didn't do it. That's vitality. And as volunteer leaders, our voice, our work enable us to create that vitality. Never forget that. Right? Am I uplifting those around me? Am I elevating this profession? So there's vision, there's values, and there's vitality. Simply put, again, I'm a first principles person, so I need to connect these three. Vision tells you where to go. It's the dream. It's the point. It's a destination. Often it's also a journey. Values guide you about the how. A great vision alone is not enough. You can do jugaad and get your way there. We want to do it the right way. The right way is always better than the easy way. Even though sometimes it will really test your patience and say, this seems like such a lonely, horrible, long battle. Will I ever get to see the end of it? You don't have to see the end of it. Somebody will take it forward. It's like a relay race. You do your part, right? The next set of volunteer leaders will do theirs. And what do you do in the meanwhile? Many of you will be completing your tenures, may not opt to continue in this role. But even in those times, a single volunteer leader here, irrespective of whether you're seasoned, unseasoned, raw, I'll tell you three things from my book of volunteer leadership, which I continue to add on to. You've never arrived as an MCC or a masterful coach. You never arrive as a volunteer. We can see goodness around us, which is why so many of us were able to do the work we did in the pandemic. It's about the journey than the destination, right? Because the destination is shifting so fast, right? We spoke about coaching. Magda and Shiv spoke about how quickly the goalpost is changing. Only much after, you stop seeing it. Thank you, ICF Delhi, and all volunteers and every single person here who's made ICF Delhi what it would say. Because, even if you speak, you don't speak, you're just here in this audience, I can just feel that energy. So thank you for vitality. We want to do like time out, we want to take time off, we want to take leave. There's nobody who's going to cover for us. Ability to be agile and flexible, it always comes back. And those around you in multifold ways. Evens out. Yeah, happy to chat offline. I know I'm sort of holding this.
Who had that, the vision be mapped. If it's not mapped, it can't be measured. So we started out by mapping what are the things that we are going to achieve. You did a lot of hard work for this.
Now it's all coordinated.
Post lunch.
Shweta, please little bit of this.
Life is short.
Thank you.
Newest members, they are poised.
लंच के साथ साथ करवा दीजिएगा
Okay guys, I will serve the cake along with the lunch. For now, everyone come here for a group photograph. Real picture.
We did it!
Transformations happen in silence. Ma'am, look here. Thank you. Thank you. Look here, sir. Look here. Ma'am, look here. Yes, smile. Thank you.
Everyone, we'd love to present our chapter's anthem that we've called Lo Chale. It's the first ever opportunity for any chapter to create their own anthem. So we all must be proud of it. It's called Lo Hum Chale, and it's a tribute and ode to every chapter member, every champion of the chapter over the last 10 years. So please do encourage us and do clap us along and motivate us, as we say. Over to Manimala.
And feel free to join us. Yeah. Lo hum chale, 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 lo
लो हम चले, 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 ख्वाबों को छूने की आगाज में, ख्वाहिशों के मिलने की आस में, ख्वाबों को छूने की आगाज में, ख्वाहिशों के मिलने की आस में, लो हम चले, 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 लो हम चले.
When we are together, within us to do and be better and better. When we are together,
We have that power
within us to do
and be better and better.
लो हम चले, लो हम चले, लो हम चले, लो हम चले,
लो हम चले.
हम में मैं हूँ, हम में तुम हो, हम में सब कुछ है,
हम में मैं हूँ, हम में तुम हो, हम में सब कुछ है.
As we grow along and we walk along our journeys together forever and ever, we do believe who we are, the bright light of NCR, the bright light of NCR. हम हैं ICF NCR,
कभी न माने हार. हम हैं ICF NCR, कुछ खास करने को यार. जो आशाएं लेकर हम चले, ढेरों आशाएं लेकर हम चले, लो 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 हम चले. Now let's turn this to up hum chale for all of us together. Ab hum chale, 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 ab hum chale. हम हैं ICF NCR, कभी न माने हार. हम हैं ICF NCR, हर मुश्किल करने पार. ढेरों आशाएं लेकर हम चले, ढेरों आशाएं लेकर हम चले, हम चले, अब हम चले, अब हम चले. वाह वाह वाह. Thank you, Kaushik.
Understanding the human experience. It's my pleasure to introduce a person who learned to listen from a young age. And I really like about this because I earlier had an opportunity to introduce her. Not just to the words, but to the silence in between she can hear. Not just for the meaning, but for essence. A person who embodies the heart and soul of transformative coaching. Sandhya Mathur, the master coach. Can we have a big round of applause for her, please? Known for her empathy and nurturing presence, Sandhya has mentored thousands of coaches, guiding them toward what she calls fire moments. And she coached many across the globe. Those rare, life-changing breakthroughs that define true transformation. She's also the author of the book, Coaching the Invisible, How the Top Coaches use neuroscience, emotional and spiritual intelligence to drive results, offering a profound lens into the deeper dimension of coaching impact. Who could be a better person than her to walk us through the human side of coaching, revealing emotional intelligence with the ICF core competencies. And those who attend this session will earn 2 extra CCUs. So for the entire event, it is 4, and those who would have not attended this, they'll only earn 2. It's my duty as a director of education to bring this very straightforward. So Sandhya, without much ado, may I invite you to take it over from me. Can we have a big round of applause again?
Letting your belly expand. Hold it for 3 seconds. Keep the air in your lungs for a 3-second count. And now, release that breath slowly and gently through your mouth. Let's repeat that. Again, breathe in slowly and deeply. Hold it there for 3 seconds. Keep it there in your lungs for a 3-second count. Release the breath slowly and gently through your mouth. Can we come back to the present? Look around and on your palms, anywhere in your palm. Our next question is, how do you feel right now? Any thoughts about that? We've had a fantastic day. We are here in the moment. How do you feel?
Grounded. I feel still.
Still. That's
Relaxed.
beautiful. That's beautiful. Relaxed, still, grounded.
Calm.
Composed.
Composed.
I'm feeling calm.
Thank you, Shiv.
A spring of joy inside me, which is there, and I'm looking at it. I took a moment to look at it, discovered that strength.
Beautiful. Anyone on this side?
Silence.
Curious.
Peace.
Peace. Lovely.
Talking to myself.
What did you say?
Talking to self. Self.
Manisha, coaching the emotional and coaching the spiritual for your client. Because that, back a little bit, all of us are coaches here, accredited coaches. That's the entire premise we are working on. And there's another premise. I'm sure all of you would have heard of the law of insanity, right? You can't keep doing, say what is the outcome you're looking for from this conversation today. We are evoking awareness about the goal, right from the beginning, the long-term goal, the short-term goals, all that. Awareness is, of course, competency number 7. What awareness are we evoking and where? And that is where I would say supporting the client, tap their emotions. Yep. Think about it. Each one of us is here because we feel a certain way about the chapter, about the sessions, about the awards, something or we've all been there and we've seen our kids as well. You like the teacher, you love the teacher, the homework is done in no time. And otherwise you can keep pushing as much as you like. That drive, that intrinsic, you've connected them to, I'm just loosely using 2 emotions, to the pain and to the happiness. One of these emotions. In earnest, I would say that, there are some myths about coaching. and knowledge and all of that. We will talk about that. The other one is, now if I'm not listening to the client's energy, because I am never ever, I will listen to the emotion, but never. So we are talking of emotions, beliefs, energy. We can build on what the human brain is like and how coaching affects the brain. And then quickly, very short, but a high level. Awake we are, right? Dopamine or cortisol, right? So anyway, so what's the connection with coaching? About coaching the intangible. There were questions. How is it going to bring a basic coach training program? I added an entire, because we have adults coming to these trainings, right? Everyone wants to know, if I talk about emotions and ask the client, how's it going to affect them? What is really happening in that coaching conversation?
And evolve. The more benefit is what we can bring up to the client.
Absolutely. That's beautiful. It's about the fact that you've been on this inward journey for your own self, in the context of your life. And therefore, you understand the other person as well, that they have their journey. Now I need to take them on their inward journey. So see, quadrant 1, quadrant 2, immediately there, right? Self-awareness and awareness about others, social awareness is there. And you love, because you've been on that inward journey yourself.
Something is going on within me when I listen to the client. And I'm not interpreting what is going on. I'm just sharing my observation. This is what I'm going through. Is that information useful to you? So that really helped me. So I'm not sympathetic towards that person. I'm empathetic in the sense I'm experiencing an emotion,
right?
Sharing that observation with that person.
Not sympathy, but only empathy and compassion.
And I never ask them or conclude, is this the feeling you are having? So that becomes an interpretation.
That's an interpretation and leading. You're suggesting that you're diagnosing their emotion or their feeling, right? That's we will talk about how you structure those questions.
So I'm sharing my observation. When I hear you, I'm feeling a race in my heart. Is that something helpful to you? Useful to you? Is that information in that way?
You let the person do the action as you support them, as you hold their hand, as you stand by them, as you understand them, as you hold them accountable. That could be compassion without attachment. I mean, that's how I see it. Like empathic action. If there are 3 types of empathy, one is cognitive and one is feeling based.
Correct.
This one is active and yet, not leading. So that's how I see it.
It's like the breath. You cannot ever be attached with breath. You cannot be not compassionate towards it because you're alive with that. So you can be both.
So well said.
Yeah.
Philosophy, that's where I was coming from.
So, with detachment, what comes to me is, of course, compassion is there. That's why we're sitting there as a coach, because we want to help. So compassion is a given, but detachment is a skill that we have to learn, and that is something which comes with practice. And in those moments when things get really emotional, could be upsetting, could be overwhelmed, could be in any form, even to the extent that the client could possibly cry or starts crying, I think that's the time it, like you very rightly said sometime back, Sandhya, that it depends on your capacity. How prepared are you? How equipped are you to handle those emotions and not get distracted in the session, not get sucked into the story again and lose the plot. So we've got to play that in that sense, complete neutrality. Does not make us insensitive. It just makes us, so if you have to pull somebody out of the pit, you don't get into the pit and then try and push them. You stay on top and you're trying to pull them out. So I think that's the way I would look at it.
Yeah.
Then what do you do? Then where does the compassion and detachment go? No, I understand, but see, somewhere we are not, I agree we are not we, but we are humans. So there is some kind of a link that sometimes erupts which gets into your journey because we are humans also, right? So how much can we?
On a lighter note, but still something which is very applicable, at least for me, if I do get into some kind of a situation like that, the best question is to ask is what would what advice would you give to your best friend? So we put ourselves out completely out of that situation and get them to think in a very neutral way what their best friend would probably advise you or their well-wisher would advise them. So somehow it's worked for me.
Yeah, or a simple...
We quickly get enrolled into that. So I remember the client was a 25-year-old guy and he shared that his father had an extramarital affair. And how this guy got to know, he had put cameras in the car of his father. He's been watching the video recordings, everything. Now when he shared this to me, that I am so upset with him. How could he do this to my mom? He was so sad. And me being from the Indian way of thinking, like we all feel, I mean, it's too bad. How could your father do this? This is what I said to myself in my mind. And quickly I got enrolled to his story, his emotion, like the way Sandhya said. And now, in a 1 or 2 session, I realized that I'm not able to coach him now. Because I am thinking exactly the way he thinks. The amount of anger he had for his father, I was holding almost the same. And then I reached back to my mentor. What do I do now? And he said, Shalini, you are a coach. And a coach is like a mirror or an observer. You get things. You need to be compassionate and you're standing for his goals and whatever he wants for himself. You cannot get enrolled into his story. You will start to feel like same. Like a doctor will start to feel your pain, will not be able to perform the surgery. So I got my lesson and I think maybe it will help you in getting your answer. Thank you.
I feel there's something...
Observing the emotion.
Yes.
One end is a mirror, the other end is a camera. Kahin beach mein is where there is a piece of acknowledging the emotion.
Yes.
Hey, you are extremely upset, mirroring the emotion. Right. On the other end, I see him upset, but I don't say this. And somewhere in the middle, I do this in the right form of acknowledgement. So maybe I think as a coaching session flows, and when you are detached, this comes. You in your journey to be in the state of the client, somewhere I think you also are out there. But are you in sync with that journey? If you're resonating with him and dancing together, then there is symphony or cacophony.
Yes. Thank you. Yes. Wow. Who would have known, Andrea? Who would have known, Andrea? When I met you so many years back in James' class. Andrea.
Ask MCC coaches. Huh? Sorry?
Remember who the first MCC was?
I was not born as a coach. That's right.
Next on the list, yes. We have frugal mindset.
Congratulations.
Yeah. And Aditya is somebody I think I have seen is ACC, PCC, and MCC and ACTC. Right.
Big round, guys. What happened? You had a nice lunch, nice session. What's holding you back?
Here. My privilege for the second time. Congratulations, my
Next event we have started.
Don't worry, we'll Photoshop and yours is misplaced somewhere.
I think the name of the event is Intent to Impact. Like you see.
Don't look at this camera now. Please wait for the video.
Yes.
We did it.
Yes.
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 We all know credential is never just about table, because we all are curious that what inspired their journey. And I'm sure many of in this room might be having a lot of questions, yes, that you would like to ask them about their journey. So this session is all about beyond credentials, the learning from this journey. I would like to invite Andrea Stone, Aditya Sisodia, Surekha Podar, and Sangeeta.
With Peter Redding, who I'm sure a lot of you know, he said, oh, get your ACC, and then think about your PCC, and then at some stage, think about your MCC, and I just didn't know the time frame that he was referring to, and I thought maybe it means like 20 years or something. So there's no hurry. I don't know if I answered it. Is that okay?
Yeah, very well. Started from FOMO to self-mastery, profound learning. My next question is to Ashwini. Spouse are MCC coaches. Wow.
What role did your spouse
MCC square.
Yes.
MCC square.
So when coaching is already such a significant part of your life and professional journey, what inspired you to pursue your MCC?
I was feeling left out. That's honest yet a little bit of kidding. So I think it's the profession, the business. Slowly as we move forward, people are demanding certifications, PCC, MCC. It meant nothing to me a few years ago. I started coaching 12 years ago, right? But it meant nothing. Then when this started happening, I felt, oh, so I really felt left out that, I wouldn't get business. That's the way I started. But that's not where it went. It's like, I've been into spirituality for almost 20 years now. I've been meditating for 18 years. And I took it on a different tangent altogether. It's like almost preparing for death. Like death of what? Death of identity. It's just like I got immersed into it. I said, how can I be nothing? How can I be just nothing, sitting in front of somebody and just being curious? Just being there, present, not even curious actually. Just being present for them. That's how I started. And yeah, so that's it. It's all a preparation of just finishing yourself to zero. You're nothing. It's just like the fly on my collar. Just like a fly on the wall. So that's what I felt, and that's where I landed, actually.
Wow, that is deep and profound, actually. Thank you for sharing this. And I'm sure all of you will have something to learn more about these credentialing journeys. My next question goes to Aditya. Aditya earning MCC and ACEC while building a thriving coaching business. It requires enormous discipline. How did you create the space for your own learning and development while continuing to serve your clients?
The first thing is tell everyone about your dreams. So whenever you meet them, the question comes, अरे तुम तो MCC करने वाले थे, तुम तो ACTC करने वाले थे, क्या होने वाला है? So that is my motivation. Second thing which I'm thankful for the community is, I'll give the recent example of the Executive and Leadership Coach Award also. It started out, I was just meeting Indu, we just met Sangeeta and Yesab. I got inspired by Kaushik when Kaushik got the Impact Award, and Jaya Bhateja got it in 2022. So I was speaking to Richa, हम लोग global में डालते हैं. So global में I was like कि नहीं यार अभी global के लिए I'm not confident. Then Indu को मैंने inspire किया, Indu आप डाल दो. तो Indu ने कहा खुद क्यों नहीं डाल देते? So I took Indu, I took Sangeeta, Dipali from Hyderabad, Diksha and बहुत सारे लोगों को लिया. हमने कहा किसी का भी आएगा, it's a collective win and डाल देते हैं. And we vetted each other's application. हमने कहा कि let us challenge each other. याद है वो काम किया था, याद है वो काम किया था, अरे उस काम का क्या हुआ? And in that process. And Sunny, are you here or not? Sunny बात तो नहीं है?
He is on the call in the other room.
अच्छा ठीक है.
We knew you were going to say this.
So what happened was Sunny ने बोला आप डाल दो आदित्य जितनी कैटेगरी में डालना है. मैंने कहा यार गुरु के लिए सबसे पहले मैंने ट्रेल ब्लेजर डाला, ठीक है, बोल दिया यू आर एन एमसीसी नाउ, चुपचाप एमसीसी में डालो. गुरु कैटेगरी में मैंने डाला एंड आई टोल्ड मुझसे बड़े बड़े गुरु हैं यहाँ पे बट आई एम अंडर कॉन्फिडेंस, बोला डाल दो. फिर एग्जीक्यूटिव कोचिंग एंड ट्रस्ट मी दिस इज माय इन्विटेशन टू एवरीवन प्रेजेंट आउट हियर, प्लीज चैलेंज योरसेल्फ. Please challenge yourself, exert yourself, क्योंकि वो लगेगा डिफिकल्ट बट ठीक है यार, एक बार फेल होंगे, दो बार फेल होंगे, it's a learning. Like if you will see my award video जो मैंने अपने मेटा से डाला था, Indu was the person who was cheering the loudest in the room जब अवार्ड वहाँ पे मिला था. And संगीता को भी मैंने ऐसी पुश किया था, संगीता डाल देते, आप जीतो मैं जीतो, it's the same thing. We are a family. हम लोग जब as a family बोलते हैं, it is important. Everyone should win. And जरूरी क्या है कि how are we being comfortable and vulnerable with each other. And that was the thing. And like you asked Garima कि ये discipline कहाँ से आता है? I did it through portfolio. I would like to thank अभिमन्यु, अभी वो नहीं है. अभिमन्यु एक चीज करते थे, how would it look like, feel like, sound like. So I started manifesting how would it look like, feel like, sound like, and I would inspire everyone. When I joined the chapter in 2018, मेरा था कि मेरे लिए सक्सेस कैसे होगी एज अ चैप्टर मेंबर. तब मुझे था कि जब मुझे ICF से वैलिडेशन मिलेगा, एक्सेप्टेंस मिलेगा. एंड मेनी ओल्ड मेंबर नो 2 बार डायरेक्टर का टेन्योर, देन वॉलंटियर चैंपियनशिप, इतनी बार कर चुका हूं, याद भी नहीं. आई वुड लाइक टू थैंक एवरीवन आउट हियर. लाइक आई विल आल्सो शेयर वन स्टोरी बिहाइंड COT जो पता नहीं है, अब इसमें केनेथ का नाम आएगा. तो मैंने केनेथ से पूछा, केनेथ व्हाट इज योर विजन फॉर COT? So Kenneth was like, Aditya, मैं stage पे चाहता हूँ. When last year Magda came, Raga के time, so there were only 6-7 members. So मैंने कहा, Kenneth, what is your vision? Kenneth ने कहा, हम कितने ज़्यादा लोगों को ला सकते हैं यार? Magda is flying down. Can't we do this? And that is what I feel. Can we inspire others? क्योंकि हमारे चैप्टर से देखिए 22 में जया को गुरु अवार्ड मिला, फिर कौशिक को मिला, मुझे मिला. I feel we are inspiring others. संगीता भी ऐसे थी कि मैंने जब एमसीसी कर लिया, मैंने कहा संगीता अब तो आपका करवा के रखना ही रखना है. इंपॉर्टेंट थिंग वही है, आर वी इंस्पायरिंग ईच अदर. मैं केपी के साथ था गुड़गांव के उसमें, केपी के साथ काफी देर तक बात की. एंड दैट इज द होल स्टोरी. डू वी हैव पीपल अराउंड अस who remind us why we started this journey in the first place? Over and out.
That's so inspiring, Aditya, and challenge yourself is going to stay with me for long. Thank you for giving this nugget. Next question goes to Surekha. Surekha, after years of coaching experience, what will still keep you curious as a coach?
Okay. I think this question is meant for me, and that's because curiosity is my character at one level, because I've been 30 years market researcher, where I have been curious about human beings, why they buy things, why they do what they do. And then coming down to coaching, curiosity just exists in me, okay? But the reality is, even if the coaches come with exact same issues, their reasons for those issues are hugely different. I mean, frankly, there are no two human beings or human minds who are exact the same. So when you have that curiosity, you're unearthing what is it that really happened here and what can change. And frankly, each person has such a huge difference in perspectives and the way it gets converted in behaviors, in their reasoning, in the way they do what they do, and so on. So curiosity for me is an absolute critical for learning anything in life. You know, whether it is the scientific inventions, discoveries. I mean, life is not going to progress unless we have curiosity. And that becomes the fundamental for everybody. So to me, curiosity is the first layer or the foundation of being a coach. And then when you understand that human mind is vast, literally vast. I mean, somebody might come with by saying that, hey, I have this issue, can you solve it for me as a coach? Frankly, the vastness of that person's mind behind, and if you are curious, you will then get into deep respect for that mind. And that will actually then leave you. And this is me and what I feel, that your coaching presence has to be there, but simultaneously you have to disappear. And that's where what Ashwini said, you have to disappear, you have to be zero in spite of having that presence. And that to me, so curiosity, respect for the human beings, their minds, what they can do, their potential. And I think that's amazing. And having that presence in spite of disappearing, letting go, believing in that other person, I think is what it is. Because unless you're curious, you cannot unfold. So that's who I am. That's absolutely me.
This is profound.
40 years of curiosity.
This is profound. And when you said that people might come with same problems,
yes,
but different reasons.
Different
It
reasons.
makes you stay curious.
Yeah, different beliefs, different reasons, different perspectives, and different way in which they want to implement it going forward in their life. So they might articulate the same thing, but what lies behind and what lies ahead could be completely different. So stay curious always.
Wow. Yeah. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for your sharing your experience. My next question goes to Sangeeta. Sangeeta, what was the hardest thing you had to unlearn to become an NCC coach?
That's a very beautiful question because the whole of my life is about unlearning. There's a very beautiful Zen story where the Zen master who wants to leave a body says, now I have to give all my wisdom to one suitable disciple. So he goes on the search and he searches and he searches and he couldn't find any. Until someone comes and says, beyond the lake there is someone who is waiting and I think he's the right person. So he goes, crosses the lake in a boat and finds there, and that young disciple is chanting, Om Mani Padme Hum, Om Mani Padme Hum. He says, he doesn't even know the mantra the right way because it's Om Mani Padme Hum. It's a jewel in the heart which is opening up. So you learn this and this is how it should be. And when you're ready, then I'll give you the wisdom that it is required. He says, okay, fine. He then rushes and comes back and he's in the middle of the lake and he's running on the water. The monk, the teacher says, this is the time to unlearn. That sometimes it's not about being right. It's about that discipline, that dedication, that perseverance that you really need to, that you get there. So what I need to unlearn, I needed to unlearn a lot of my earlier philosophies because I was a therapist, I'm a counseling psychologist, and the list goes on. So I had to unlearn everything at the level of the body, at the level of the mind, and get to the spirit where coaching is truly. Because MCC is mindful coaching conversations. And when I probably, went beyond, people say pre-pandemic and post-pandemic, that's something we now talk to, but that's my life story because post-pandemic, it's like a lot of suns that are rising around me, wherein the light is shining, and the light is coming from here, Aditya, and it's coming from so many mentors and teachers who helped me to unlearn and then just be empty. Just be empty into a space of nothingness to have mindful coaching conversations for soul searching. So thank you very much for this beautiful question.
Journey. Thank you so much.
That's the power of storytelling.
Yes, yes. And now I would like to open the floor for the audience. If they have any questions, they are free to ask, or from our MCC coaches.
Yeah, question to all, but especially to you. I have been planning to do my MCC for some time. So, 2 बार हुआ करके कि नहीं करेंगे, बाद में करेंगे, something like that. And I was in touch with certain mentors, some certain MCCs, to understand that is it for myself, is it for my business, is it because I want to be called MCC coach? Of course, everybody wants to be called here. But I paused, and when I was asked question, how's your business doing? Simple question. I said, God's grace, fantastic. Why do you want to do MCC? I said, maybe more business. So answer was, is that a myth that you are MCC and more business? So I literally had to take an inward journey. I took a pause again. So I question to all of you, especially because you started off with, I want to do and I don't want to be left alone. I was in the same race for last 1 year. Aditya can vouch for it. He's my mentor. However, I would want to understand that today, having said that I have good business and I'm very proud of that, shall I do that? Because I don't want to get into coaching education. I don't want to be a part of being those mentors because I don't see that in me, right? What do you say? I mean, open to all, but because you had that sentence, so yeah.
Could you specify the question?
Question is, for me, MCC meant, of course, the certification, which I want to always have one, if not now, maybe later. But as of now, from the business point of view, I'm good. The dilemma is that shall I do MCC or not? Because मैंने जो सुना है, again, could be incorrect sentence, sorry if it is, that when you go up to the MCC level, obviously the kind of money one gets is also different and people are not ready to pay that money in the market. So I don't know, this is something that really stuck with me and I'm still in that dilemma and I'm really hoping to get some answers from you all. Is it that business come ho jayega? I mean, that's something, or is it something, because I'm not into mentorship and coaching education at all. That I don't see myself there at all. So yeah, thank you.
So thank you for the question and choosing me for the answer. As an MCC first, I cannot answer your question because the answer lies with you. I cannot say what I feel. But if you want me to say what I feel about it, it's up to you what you charge. It's as simple as that. Why do you need to increase your rate if your business? You have to think about why do you want to do MCC in the first place? Is it business? You're already doing good. Then why? Is it the name, the tag, or the honor we get here?
Of course, that
Right.
is one part.
Right. So that is an obstruction to the path of MCC. This much I can tell you. If you want something out of MCC, it becomes difficult to record those recordings. You need to be completely at ease with yourself if you want to become an MCC. And I hope So I think that's my answer. I hope that's. Do you have any other point on that?
No, I'm good with that, but I'll love to hear from
Yeah,
everyone.
sure.
Yeah. So, thank you.
So like Ashwini rightly said, it's your decision and it's your thought. To me, MCC was going a little more deeper so that I can serve my clients better. It makes me better. It makes me, self-mastery is a big thing in MCC part. So it just allows you to let go and remove all your ego and whatnot. But in effect, you are going to serve your clients better. So you have to decide whether it is only business and MCC batch and sitting here, or is it really about being client-centric? Is it about, focusing on the client and how they are going to, benefit from your coaching? Even better, I'm not saying they're not, they are benefiting. But can it be leveled up is the question you have to ask yourself. And if you're already at an MCC level, maybe not. You don't need anything else. But frankly, learning and coaching is an unending journey. MCC itself is not, in fact, the more you become engrossed in the journey of MCC, you realize how little you know. So that will happen to you too. Yeah? Thank you for the question.
Thank you, Sarika.
Could I just add? When I started my MCC journey, the first thing I said was I've lost a lot of what being a good coach is. So I remember right at the beginning when I started to learn to be a coach, I feel I was more of an MCC coach then 13 years later I thought I'll go for the accreditation. Because I was coaching executives and I had this mindset that executives don't want to talk about feelings, right? Or let's keep it very, doing level. And that's the first thing I said, I've lost a lot of the things that make you a good coach and I want to regain those. And that was part of the MCC journey for me, to feel comfortable asking those questions. I still ask challenging questions, but going deeper. So that's one thing to bear in mind, regaining some things you may have lost along the way. And both Sangeeta and I were looking at each other saying, no, you don't earn more money just because you say you're an MCC, right? I mean, you could if you wanted to, but I wouldn't say that that's the reason people will pay you already.
Sorry to say that. No, I think you got it wrong. What I said was that MCCs, because we are working with a lot of aggregators, right?
Okay.
So when we come to the aggregators, MCC has a different slab and they say, oh, no, we can't afford you. And this I have had conversation with real-time MCCs as of today. So it's not one person, so about 5 to 6. And that's when I thought, really, and of course, because you all are going so much deeper, definitely there's a value attached to MCC, right? So that's the dilemma again that I was.
I can't speak that. I don't work with Africa.
Can I say something? In fact, before I became even PCC, I was charging the same money.
I like that.
It's been 12, 13 years. It's all about how you price yourself. What confidence do you have? What value can you deliver to your client? Right? And about the race, let me tell you, race never helps.
नहीं rates की बात नहीं है कि वो कहते हैं कि we'll take PCC. So the thing was that we'll take PCC because we're getting this is what we can afford. Affordability from their point of view, not from ours. So today, even if I go directly, I quote great and I get it. But if I'm going through aggregators, which is my vast business, so that's where.
So look at it this way: that if you charge the PCC rate, your aggregator will say, "Got it for you," because you get MCC at the price of PCC. Sorry, PCCs. Sorry about that, but that inspires you to become an MCC too. And I'm wondering, after some time, will there be any PCCs and ACCs left? You know, the way MCCs are happening. Anyway, that's a different time.
Delhi NCR chapter. So
Yeah.
let's give
So-
I think I might be a little louder, so I'll not use the mic. See, looking at the kind of experience that is sitting on the dais there, and I'm coming from a consulting business space where we are doing coaching, aggregate. We are becoming a kind of a coaching aggregator as well. And when I approach any client for coaching, right, the demand is always like a PCC with 15 years or an MCC with so many years of experience. And if I have somebody whom I have been working with, I have experience coaching very well, if you ask me, they might be looking young, just like me. They might not have 15 years of experience, but they are coming with all those credentials with them. End of the day, the client is asking for somebody who's in a gray area. Because they have a different kind of a bias with which they might be working, I'm not very sure. And me, if I'm on my journey, becoming a PCC, becoming an MCC there, what story can inspire me to say that I have achieved it within a shorter duration than the other MCCs who are there on their podium, who have all those corporate experiences and X, Y, Z to say. I'm still struggling to place myself, and what would you like to tell me if I have to reach that MCC podium and to also reach out the clients and say, this is what I am about.
Is that question to me?
Everybody, because you all are coming with so much of experience, I'm just coming with 5-10 years of experience. Sorry, I was looking at everybody, but maybe I was sorry.
MCC and no white hair.
But that's why I asked. Okay, so I'll share a personal incident with Indu. Indu, you remember MCC के 1 साल पहले ही मैंने आपको अपने pre-MCC charges बता दिए.
Yes.
So this is the first thing. Are we sharing our pre-ACC, pre-PCC, pre-MCC charges with the client? कि ये अभी चल रहा है, इसके बाद rates will go up. Number one. Number two, and this is something which I'll share with you, and I'll invite Debeshi also. Let us invite all the winners of the Impact Award, Excellence Award to share कि उन्होंने अपनी application में ऐसा क्या डाला.
Yeah, I love to do that. It took a lot of time.
Exactly.
Happy to share.
Understand that point. क्योंकि it's all about evidence. क्या evidence दे रहे? Because Indu, you know me. मैं अपना पूरा मेहनत कर रहा हूँ. And I'm very much. अभी एक question जो पायल ने पूछा, MCC करने के बाद बस एक difference आ गया है. अब मैं ये नहीं काम करूँ. That's the only thing. Ability to say no. I was speaking to one of the coaches out here. उन्होंने कहा आदित्य, coaching is a lifestyle choice. आप इतना पैसा इन्वेस्ट कर रहे हैं अपने मेंटर कोचिंग में, अपने अपस्किलिंग में. अभी यहाँ पे लोग नहीं है. ऋषभ नोज, इंद्रजीत के साथ हम लोग क्रेडेंशियल उनकी बात कर रहे थे. हमने साफ बोला $270 अगर हम दे रहे हैं प्लस लोकल चैप्टर का, इंडिया दिल्ली का तो 2500 है, न्यूयॉर्क वहां का तो $200 ऊपर से. Are we talking about ROI, ROR, ROE, investment, relationship, engagement?
I didn't get it. What is the difference?
मैंने $270 दिया है, क्या मुझे 25-30 हजार का बिजनेस आ रहा है इसमें? Number one, return on relationship. What are the kind of people I'm meeting? Like Debeshi, you remember PCC के पहले जब हमारा हो रहा था, I used to challenge Debeshi के PCC level का नहीं, Debeshi का मुंह बन जाता तो मजाक चल रहा है क्या? That is return on relationship. And सबसे जरूरी क्या है? How are we engaging with the ecosystem? Something which I have seen is membership getting dropped out. लोग कहते हैं मजा नहीं आ रहा, मैं कह रहा हूँ मजे के लिए नहीं आ रहे, हम यहाँ सीखने के लिए आ रहे हैं. And ऋषभ आउट है, सब लोग ऋषभ की शक्ल देख लीजिए. He has started. ऋषभ हाय कर सब लोग. हाँ, this guy. He started out. इसने कहा मुझे कोच बनना है. मैंने कहा पहले घाट घाट का पानी पियो and फिर देखो कि जूते खींचने के बाद. And what Indu is saying, like I share something on this stage. मेरी MCC की पहली रिकॉर्डिंग 2 बार रिजेक्ट हो. And मुझे था कैसे हो सकती है? वो होता है ना कि हो सकता है. Not many coaches are vulnerable to share this thing. फिर I went to the basic. मैं एक मेंटर कोच के पास ग्लोबली गया. मैंने कहा आपका एक सेशन का कितना है? I'm going to hire you for 2 coaches. I went to the basic. Can we go back and promote ourselves? क्योंकि that is what defined us. And on paper हम कितने strong हैं? Like Indu, how many times do you talk about you are a COT leader, mother of 2 inspiring daughter, doubting spouse, a community leader? These are the things. Are we creating advocates around us? That is the thing. क्या हम एक दूसरे के बारे में जानते हैं? Like I know Sunny, आप बाहर थे. I was giving you a shout out. मैंने जब सनी को एक्सेलेंस अवार्ड के पहले बोला, सनी मेरा मूड भी कर रहा है. कह रहा है एक कैटेगरी क्यों, मल्टीपल कैटेगरीज में डालो. मैंने कहा मल्टीपल कैटेगरीज में रिजेक्शन आएगा. कहता तो डाल दो ना, सीखने को मिलेगा. So this is my invitation to everyone. If rejection wasn't a fear, would you still persist? अब यहाँ पे कितने लोगों को पता है कि I'm a kidney transplant person? पता है ना? I work with Kidney Warrior Foundation. I work with hospice people. I work with terminally cancer people are from different. हमारे यहाँ community में भी 1-2 लोग हैं जो बहुत कम लोगों को पता है, जो अपना second chemotherapy cycle कर रहे हैं. Do we actually care about the people कि हमारे आजू-बाजू में क्या हो रहा है? So my invitation is please be vulnerable. अब विवेक का ही मैं नाम लेता हूँ. जब हम लोग नोएडा मीटअप में मिले थे, I challenge विवेक आपने अवार्ड में क्यों नहीं डाला? विवेक ने कहा 8 बज गए थे, मेरे को पता नहीं था. And I was like, विवेक आप मुझे एक बार बोलते, मैं then and there आपको nomination देता. And that is where I felt this is a emptiness in the community. कि मुझे समझ में नहीं आ रहा है मैं किसको अपने स्पीड डायल पे रखूं. Like my reason पायल of becoming MCC is अगर मैं कर सकता हूं तो आप भी कर सकते हो. संगीता को भी मैंने यही बोला था, संगीता मेरा हो गया, चलो आपका करो. So long story short, promote your session.
And in fact, I would definitely give that credit to Aditya because I was also hesitant to apply for the Excellence Awards. And it was just 3 days for the final application. He was at the back. He inspires people the most, the best, because he understands where we are coming from and what kind of work I have done. I would have done something different, maybe my way of presenting, and I'm still on my journey to be. So I totally get that. And I'm really, really happy to be part of this bigger community, my own home, home chapter that I would call, because I started journey from here. And still I say, because I understand what a client is talking. A client is always talking about. Yes, please. Can I get a mic? They are not saying youngsters.
So I was and training. When I decided to leave my marketing career, I was told by my boss, why don't you wait for 15 or 20 years, right? Why do you want to become a trainer now? That time I didn't know coaching. Coaching I discovered 2 years later. And I remember initially it was like, hey, ladki. I was 35. I didn't even look 35 at that time. I think what is important is what's your why, right? Yeah. Second thing is the business of coaching. When I say business of coaching, it is also about the niche that you own. Can you have a defined niche? So the coaches that you are trying to sell and the client is not willing to take them, maybe you are approaching the wrong client, right? maybe you need a coach-wise client, at least industry, or what is the ideal client for that coach? Because every coach has an ideal client, in my opinion. Because, say for example, you come from a consulting background, maybe a consulting firm may value your experience even if it is 15 years and not 30 years, right? So that's my invite to any young coach, is to find what is it that I can do that nobody else can do. So for example, I'll give you a couple of examples. So I know one person who started out with first-time managers for IT companies. A very clear niche. And because that person has that experience, there is a very high credibility that this person will get called, right? There is another coach, so my mentor for NCC, Shrikant, his son, he is doing coaching for Gen Z. He is himself a Gen Z. So it's like every MCC does not have to work with CXOs. You can be an MCC, and as Surekha said, you are bringing the best of yourself as a coaching professional, and you can have an ideal client to whom you are offering your services, and they will value it. So that's my thing. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Moment put up. It was way back in 1999, and there was a Korean CEO, and said that, "Oh, you are the founder of the organization." I said, "Yes." So when I'm now 52, it's the same energy that I put out. I look the same. So it's never about the white or the grey or the black hair. It's about the wisdom that you put along with what you bring on the who you are, like the niche. So if I'm a mindfulness evangelist, people know that this is who she is, and the mapping absolutely happens.
Thank you. In the interest of time,
Yes.
I would
A big round of applause for our MCCs and XCCs.
And many congratulations on your credentialing.
Right.
I know everyone is tired. End of the day. 5-10 minute की बात है, सुन लो हम लोग. If everybody can just hear us for 5-10 minutes. MCC. Thank you. So thanks for the question, Garima. Yes, I'll put it this way. One of the shifts that has certainly come in is moving from being responsible for the client's solution to being responsible for the client's thinking. Over the last 2 decades, whatever experience I've had over 25 years across different sectors, we've been always rewarded for being a problem solver. We've always been praised, promoted, appreciated for having solutions and giving guidance at the right time. Say that there was a lot of unlearning required, a lot of relearning required. To some extent, certainly it wasn't very difficult for me personally, because like Ashwin mentioned, I've also been in the spiritual pursuit for over 20-25 years now. So I'm a certified clinical hypnotist, I'm a Reiki healer, I'm a pranic healer. I have gone to ashrams multiple times, stayed there for 10 days plus, meditated with the cohort from morning till nights. So there has been a certain amount of inner evolution that already happened, which by default brings in a lot of calmness, brings in a lot of being in a space of being non-judgmental and neutral. But having said, with all this experience also, it was not easy. One other premise shift that happened for sure was entrusting the fact that there's a lot of resourcefulness and intelligence in the person sitting across the table. So it's not about we offering advice, it's more about generating that insight and awareness in them. So I think these were some of the shifts that I had to really go through. And one more thing I'd say, sometimes when you have a lot of background, minus coaching, in the industry, it does go against you to do deeper coaching sessions. But you have to overcome them with practice and just kind of nurturing that skill again and again. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Rohit. And what you have said, that there is a shift from giving solution to make them think, is really wonderful and deep. Thank you so much. My next question goes to Shailaja. Shailaja, you were an HR head until recently and have had a distinguished career with several renowned organizations. What motivated you to step away from the successful corporate career and move into coaching?
Thank you. Actually, my decision to step away from the corporate career was more personal. So I, had to get out of a, CHRO role, which was taking 18 hours of my time, to become a primary caregiver for somebody who was very close to me, which was my mother-in-law, and really commit to being with her, as she was going through the last stages of her own journey. So that was the motivation, saying that at this point in time, if I don't do this, I won't feel good. But having said that, what I realized over a period of time was that as I would take care of her and she would be resting, I didn't have anything to do. And so that's the time I kind of said that one of the most important things in my life has always been, whether it's my own team, my peers, or at the board level, at the leadership level, to help people maximize their potential. And I said, I don't want to charge for it. I don't want to really make a business out of it. But while I have the time, and I've taken this break, I think I need to just give back. So I think it started with the pure intention of giving back and maximizing my skills to help anybody who needed that kind of leg up, if you will. So I think that those were the two key reasons.
Thank you so much for sharing that altruism, made you step into coaching after your personal transition. My next question is to Indrani. Indrani, what does becoming a PCC mean to you beyond meeting the credentialing requirement?
So, I was already into a lot of spirituality. We've talked a lot about such things in Sandhya's session. I was already practicing Buddhism, and therefore, Buddhism talks about taking care of your own self, and therefore self-awareness was already part of my own journey. And when I got into coaching, it just fitted like a glove. I think it's about the impact that one makes. It's not about collecting 500 hours, but it is about having the capability to enable transformation in another individual. And for that, one needs to get into the depths of oneself. And I also feel, a lot of things have been talked about. So what is coming to my mind is the word responsibility. I think traveling from ACC to PCC is a different kind of responsibility to the clients that we have. And coaching is a journey. Life is a journey. Coaching is a life journey. And it's not only about the clients, but any person that you meet, you can make an impact. And that I think is very valuable to me, and I hope that I'm bringing that value to others as well.
Beautiful. Thank you. So, spirituality and coaching, I've been hearing a lot in this conversation, and now it has opened a door for me for further exploration. Thank you so much for... Yeah, namyo ho renge kyo.
Yeah, namyo ho renge.
Yes. So we can take one question from the audience, if anybody would like to ask.
Any questions?
Any questions?
No, they've asked all the questions to the NCCs.
Have you noticed how coaching seems to be a calling and how it's an inward journey? Everyone, the NCCs,
I remember that I was in the peer coaching circle where Sandhya was the mentor, and in fact I have it written on my vision board that coaching is a structured journey into your own spirituality. Absolutely.
Thank you so much for taking out time and sharing your journeys with us. I'm glad that I had this opportunity to be with you and share the moment.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so
Thank
much.
you.
Well,
Things must come to an end. So on behalf of the chapter board members, thank you, heartfelt. This has been wonderful. But just one thing I would like to close with. We've got this chapter award and many people, many champions of the chapter have contributed to it. But there is always one person with the vision, more importantly with the courage to make things come to life. And that for me is Madam President Debeshi. So it takes a lot of determination, perseverance, resilience and grit. So thank you so much. And on that note, thank you. Take care. God bless.
Okay.